I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Live the Xfinity studio. Well, I've presided over these losses and ends of seasons many, many times. I've eulogized seasons after seasons that ended either prematurely, no playoffs, awful endings. Just go back to October and the Phillies losing to the Dodgers. I've eulogized countless broken-hearted moments. This one is infuriating because this one is about ineptitude. This one was just a giant waste of a season. Rarely do you get a chance for a dynastic run. Rarely. It never happens. Well, Howie Roseman put together a roster headed by an incredible defense and a very good and a seasoned defensive coordinator in Vic Fangio. I know they gave up a couple big plays yesterday. I think it was clear that Kyle Shanahan is a great coach. And, he was able to get as much as he could out of a team that had just lost everybody, including their all-world tight end to an Achilles injury early in the game. Fabulous coaching job by Kyle Shanahan. And on the flip side, the direct opposite is Nick Sirianni. And quite frankly, we're all going to talk about Patullo and how bad he is, and he's an awful offensive coordinator, and it's all true. We saw it play out game after game after game. But the truth of the matter is, Nick Sirianni is not a good head coach. He's not. He was blessed with incredible talent. He was blessed with a really good defense and an incredible staff. Stoutland, Fangio, got a great staff. Ultimately, Nick Sirianni has no answers. This is his production offensively. This is his philosophy offensively. This concept of let's just go win the turnover battle. This rudimentary, elementary, passive offense is his. The philosophies are his. The offense is his brainchild. And it's not good. It's played out that way all season long. And then here you go, a home playoff game to a depleted San Francisco 49ers team. A defense, no business stopping you. And once again, they were weak and passive and disjointed. They were an embarrassment yesterday, offensively. They had 2 turnovers. They had a 10-play, 23-yard drive. They held the ball for 35 minutes. 35 minutes. And they played scared. They did not push the needle offensively at all. That's a directive of the head coach. And before you tell me, well, he won the Super Bowl. Yeah, as a passenger on the bus, he won the Super Bowl. He might as well be having pom-poms and been on the sidelines. Ultimately, he failed. And I don't know what this group can do. I think you saw the best of this group. This is being level-headed. Look around the league. What did you see? Comebacks, furious games, teams matriculating the field in seconds. What did you see out of this group? They move slow. They move afraid. They move passive. What did you see out of it? Compare and contrast. And the quarterback was awful. If I see him one more time roll out and throw the ball away, bail out of the pocket, and he didn't run again. He didn't run again. I saw Caleb Williams run. I saw Brock Purdy run. I watched Herbert and I watched Drake May get battered and run and run. I watched Josh Allen run. Please, if I hear one more time that Hurts is an elite quarterback and as good as those guys, just hold you. I don't care if Bill Walsh comes back from the grave and gives him the directive. All right? He's not. He doesn't stand in the pocket and take a hit. He bailed early. He's late on his throws. And the offensive coordinator is not a bailout. The offensive coordinator is inept. We know that. But the quarterback gave you nothing yesterday. This group has taken you as far as it can go. I think it's fairly obvious. Last year, it took like a lightning bolt or Lane Johnson to tell the head coach, hey, Nick, anybody home, Nick? We're a downhill run team, Nick. That's what we are, Nick. Oh, I guess we should run the ball with Barkley and an offensive line that's road graders. And then let Jalen work off of that. And that's how they won. He was a thread away from being fired last year. The year before was a collapse. I think if you stack all this stuff together, what is obvious is the roster and the talent superseded the coaching. That the roster itself, that they got lucky. Think about this. Fangio falls in their lap, so they get the master of his defense. Howie does an incredible job drafting defensive players. And then you marry that with Barkley and a great O-line. And that's how they won. And now you come back and you still have the same thing. I know the O-line was banged up. I get that. That's not an excuse. I'm watching teams missing their left tackle, their right tackle, their left guard, and their center. And they can still move the ball. I saw and watched ineptitude. There's nothing worse than people who just aren't qualified, who aren't good. That's Patullo. But ultimately, Patullo's just doing Sirianni's bidding. That's his baby. Production. Think about it like a movie. It's a Sirianni production. And that's what played out. They had no business losing that game yesterday. None. That Niners team, 3 new linebackers, like that alone. No pass rush. So they blitz. You can't make them pay in a blitz. The quarterback didn't run. Like, I'm watching quarterbacks run all day, all weekend long. And this dude doesn't run. And bails out of the pocket. I saw not 1 ounce of creativity. I mean, look what Shanahan. Shanahan's got to pull out gadget plays. He's got to pull everything out. Because it's the playoffs. Disgusting. And if I were Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, I would seriously consider moving on from Sirianni. I would be on the phone with Kevin Stefanski tomorrow. I'd be talking to John Harbaugh. I think you got what you. I think this group got what as much as you can get out of them. Nothing personal, Nick. I like him. All right, nothing personal, but he's just not smart enough. I don't see a well-oiled machine. I don't, and even the EQ piece of it. What do I see? I see him barking at A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's another one. He's going to be gone. he leaves and scurries away last night when the media comes looking for him. But, like, I see an emotional guy. You don't need that wild range of emotions on the sidelines. You need brains. And I just don't see it. Good morning, VG.
What's up, man? I mean, I can't really add much to what you laid it out there. I want to be angry today. I was angry last night. I'm kind of gutted today. I feel like we saw all season. This is what they did. It was Groundhog Day. They come out. Maybe they look okay for a quarter. There's an adjustment made, and they're clueless, completely clueless. They're running just vertical routes the entire time. I mean, you were there. It looked on TV like it was just all vertical routes, routes.
It was pathetic.
And it's check downs, and that's it. And there's nothing. And you got a team. There's like a 4-string team they're playing. It's the Niners. It was set up on a tee. And Kittle goes out. I'm telling the Pagan, it's over. Kittle's out there, done.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no, they're not done.
No,
not
well,
done.
Here's the issue. The issue is that they never had a plan. Their game plan was hard. What is your game plan? I mean, like, there were times during that game where I'm going, all right, you gotta throw it here. You gotta run. Like, without the freaking play action. All right?
Right.
You establish a run, and then you bring up.
You do nothing out of it.
You not nothing.
Nothing.
You never make them pay. There's no penalty. That's what play action's meant for. You establish a run. All right, great. Then throw it down the field.
Right. And you've been calling for tempo the whole season. Brady was pounding a gong yesterday. He's like, tempo. Where's the tempo? You got to get them into a tempo.
There's no rhythm.
That's what he's saying.
And
you've been saying it all
if
season.
I see them sit there and bleed the freaking clock, bleed it. The plays take forever to get in. Hurts is like screaming at put his hand over to here, and then they get to the line of scrimmage.
Alpha.
Tick, tick, tick. And they snap it with 1 second left on the clock.
Right.
Every time.
Defense is on their heels ready to go. They know it's coming. I don't know. It's just a complete.
Every time.
Feels like complete ineptitude. Even at the final timeout. It's the three heads. Nick's standing there just looking. Jalen makes an eye roll like, what are these guys talking about right here?
Dude, if I tell you, I'm done with them. All of them. It's ineptitude.
It's complete ineptitude.
And I don't want to hear, oh, well, Nick just won it. He was a passenger on the bus. I don't want to hear it. I was like, listen, I've been saying this all year, and I feel bad. I really rooted for Nick Sirianni. I wanted to believe he was something he wasn't. Like, I thought, all right, you got a young offensive guy, the whole thing.
Right.
I liked his messaging. We're going to play to the strengths of our players, all that stuff. And he's a nice kid, a nice guy. Like, all right, family man, sports guy.
Sure.
I want him to win. I like him. All right? I like him as a guy. I feel bad saying this, but he's not an elite football coach.
He doesn't do anything. He's the vibes guy. In the vibes, he's arguing. He's in a yelling match with his star receiver.
How many times have we seen meltdown on the sidelines?
Come on.
All right? Barking at fans.
Right.
How many times have we see that stuff? How many times? Like again, what good is it?
They won the turnover battle, Ian. Hey, all season. It's all we wanted. Stressed. Even Aaron Andrews or whatever to say, they're focused on fundamentals in the turnover battle.
That's their plan.
Like, you gotta be
their
kidding
plan
me.
is win the turnover battle. Are you kidding me? Did anybody watch the playoffs? Anybody watch these other games? Because it's a different sport what the Eagles are playing.
Oh, yeah, completely, dude. It's down the field. It's lasers down the field. It's across the middle. It's creativity.
We got a jet sweep
Caleb
double
Williams
reverse Saturday night on 4th down, make a throw off his back foot, hanging in the pocket, then bailing then rolling out in the last minute, hanging, making a dime, throwing a dime, falling down. I'm watching quarterback play. Say what you want, and I know the chat gets on me about Herbert. All right? Herbert left it on the field. He was getting buried crunched last night. He's got 2 backup tackles, right? Crunched. And he's balling, doing whatever he could, running.
Dude, how does Purdy end up with more rushing yards? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me.
In all fairness to Purdy.
No design run. Was there a design run all night?
No. That comes from your inside. All right? Mr. Jordan gave me none of that yesterday. None of it. And fair's fair. Mm-hmm. Enough of this. I got none of that yesterday out of him.
I just feel gutted. This defense was so good. And I mean, we said if they
gutted?
hold them to 20 to 23.
You know why you're gutted? Because they blew an opportunity.
Right.
How many times do we have dealt with a lifetime of failure with that team, right? Now we're in the golden era. And these opportunities don't come around.
No, we know this as a fan base more than anyone.
Like, you're going to have to pay your defense now. Like, same thing, rookie quarterback, right?
Yeah.
So you're on a rookie deal. Let's build around it. Well, the Eagles did such a great job drafting that they basically had a rookie defense like you didn't have to pay. A great defense with a great coach. And now you're going to have to start paying them. They blew this. Blew it. You had a home
We saw
game.
it coming. And, everyone who said they're going to open up the playbook in the playoffs, you killed me all season. You were driving me nuts with that. And it's not like they could just turn this on. This is not a team that can just suddenly they're just going to open up this playbook. They've been saving it all regular season. It's like, get out of here. They're just complete. They're idiots. I mean, I got to say, from the way people nationally, Orlovsky's out there just crushing them. They're running the final drive. They're running 4 verts like 4 times. It's hitches. 80% of their passing yards are hitches and flats.
I have to tell you, if I'm sitting here today and I'm Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie, I have a meeting, and I go, all right, let's look at it with calm heads, okay? Mm-hmm. This group, where can they get us back? Can they get us back to be knowing what we got? Like, we're going to move on from AJ. Right? We got to pay some defense. We'll draft a receiver, whatever it is, right? Can this group, the O-line gets, best case scenario, the O-line's back to being healthy, right? What's next?
Well, people, they bring in Frank Reich, and he's going to right the ship.
Yeah. No, Frank Reich. What's Frank Reich? All of a sudden, Frank Reich is Shanahan Jr.? Stop with Frank Reich. You need a head coach. The coordinator, Kellen Moore, watch what Kellen Moore did with the Saints. Watch what he did with the Saints. Creative. He was operating in a straitjacket under Sirianni because it's a Sirianni production. Sirianni needs to go. You need to hire Kevin Stefanski. Get a real offensive guy in here that can call the plays or not call the plays, but has an idea about building an offense.
I'm 100% with you. Because there's
like, what are we doing?
When they get together on the sideline,
Sirianni's not going to be able to fix it. This was my.
He got involved in the offense the last month and a half.
Did I not make I was trying to be fair because I like Nick. I'll say it again. I like him. But I told you this. I go, all right, let this be the litmus test. If he can get through to the playoff, go back to the Super Bowl, he can't even beat a depleted San Francisco team at home with the lead.
Right.
Like, are we kidding ourselves?
Bash my head
like,
into
that's
the wall.
my point. Are we kidding ourselves that all of a sudden you get Frank Reich in here and he's going to be the panacea? No. It's the same thing. Listen, the year of the great Super Bowl blue snow, it was in the stars, right? And I love Doug to death. I love Doug Peterson, right? But Doug went down to Jacksonville and they were horrible, right?
Yeah.
Only because he's gone does Trevor Lawrence flourish when he leaves.
Yes.
All right? That should be a clue.
Right.
Like, you got to watch the rest of the league to understand all this stuff, right? So he leaves, and Lawrence turns into a player. So Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Rose would go, all right, Doug, listen, like, if you're not going to bring in real coordinators, you got to go. Right? So he's gone.
Yeah.
Let's see who we're going to bring because it's a GM team. And listen, I can't, you're either a coach team or a GM team. And the Eagles are a GM team. And that means Howie and Jeffrey. They've won. And I look at their roster moves, and I can't argue. I've always been a coach guy. Like, I want my coach to have all the power.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Howie's done a great job. So, hey, they bring in Nick because he's an under-the-thumb guy.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Like, easily, don't make waves. They have, great O-line. They're able to kind of make a run. We saw them in 22, right? The offense, Steichen's got a clue. Mm-hmm. The offense, but even more, Hurts was dangerous in 22. Why? Because they ran RPOs, right? Why? Because they had tempo, RPOs, were able to go. Well, Hurts doesn't want to run anymore, right? So he's a different quarterback than he was in 22. 23, what happens? The hot start, the whole thing, disaster. Last year, disaster up until the bye week, and then it's like, oh, wait, we got Saquon Barkley and a great O-line. Like, all you have to do is, follow the breadcrumbs. And where will that lead you? To the point is that it's time again. The way Doug won, and now it's time for Nick.
I agree with you, but is it unprecedented? I don't know if there's anyone less than a year removed.
Listen, I don't care.
He's up on a new contract. He's the first year of a new contract.
I don't care. All that stuff. This is not about precedents, contracts. They can eat whatever you want to eat. This is, what do your eyes tell you? Is Nick Sirianni with another OC is he the long-term answer to this franchise?
Not if he's got any kind of say. We joked before where he would just peek his head in and say, hey, how's everybody doing?
But that's stupid. You can't have a head coach like that. You can't have a head coach that you got to bar from the offensive meetings. That's ridiculous. Come on. So I don't want to hear about precedents or contracts. I don't want to hear Pollyanna, again, because I like the guy. But you got to call it the way you see it. And the way this thing is run, it needs to change. Like, you got to change things. Anyway, we got lots to do. Oh, man, I am just livid. When you see that stuff, we all watched a train wreck yesterday.
Yep.
Train wreck. Shame. These opportunities just don't come around. Mm-mm. All right, we got lots to get to. EJ is going to join us coming straight up. We got Franny Films and, of course, Murph to join us. Lots to get to right here on the Anthony Gargano Show, presented by the Bet Park Sportsbook app and, you name it, you know it, Xfinity and our friends at Xfinity. All right. How about Parks Casino, the Bet Park Sportsbook app? Look, now that the season's over, we're going to have plenty of time. Do yourself a favor. Parks Casino, a great choice for headline entertainment, award-winning dining. They got it all. Saturday, January 31st, the Marshall Tucker Band, Jefferson Starship. Saturday, February 7th, Piano Men, Generations, a tribute to Elton John and Billy Joel. February 28th, country artist Brett Young. Friday, March 6th, Candlebox. March 14th, comedian Tracy Morgan. All the headliners coming out. May 14th, the Wallflowers. That's VG's favorite band. You gotta love it. ParksCasino.com to buy tickets. Great for date night, girls' night out, guys' night out. You got award-winning dining everywhere. You got to be 21. Gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Now I want to tell you about one of our new clients. We love them. Success. It's First Trust Bank. You know, the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. Success, whether in sports, business, or life, comes down to working with the right people, having a clear plan, showing up every day with a purpose. That's exactly how First Trust Bank supports Philadelphia business owners, all right? As the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles, First Trust understands what it takes to compete and win. You're a business owner who's tired of feeling like just another number. First Trust is different. Family owned, deeply rooted in Philadelphia, our kind of place since 1934. Genuinely invested in this city and this business community. First Trust isn't just a bank. They give your business an edge. Learn more, firsttrust.com, or call 1-800-220-BANK. First Trust Bank, the official bank of the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, welcome back. Now, let's do this because we got a friend of the show who we love, a great NFL insider. When I want my NFL news, I go to our hometown man. That's right, from the NFL Network, Mike Garafolo. In fact, he wants to join the show.
Yeah. Well, he's a Philly guy.
Well, he was down there yesterday. Yeah. He was down there yesterday. I mean, it was a complete mess.
Dude, I'm so...
All right, let's go to Mikey. Mikey G. Good morning, Michael.
Yeah, I'm calling in. First time, long time. Okay? Your tweet sent me Nick Sirianni, a terrible head coach or whatever the hell you put out there. Come on. First of all, you caught me on a day where my kids are homesick. So now I got to take care of them because my wife is at work, so I'm dealing with this right now. We're supposed to be out of this apartment, so I don't even know where to go because our home renovation is supposed to be done right now.
I got news for you. I know you got a lot going on. Don't mess with me today.
You caught me at the right time. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You think Sirianni? Go ahead. Go make your case for your boy.
Where's my ring? Where's the Super Bowl ring that I can hold up as a prop?
The one that he got wearing pom-poms, waving pom-poms on the sidelines? Thanks to Fangio and Stoutland?
What do you want him to do? He's the head coach. What do you want him to do? You want him to
thanks to Stoutland?
On both sides of the ball?
He's the head coach who comes from the offensive side of the ball, who has no idea about offense.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all. Listen, they have fundamental
Because I saw such a great offense over the last year. It took Lane Johnson last year to tell him to run the ball.
Puke by herself right now because I gotta deal with this right now. Okay. What do you mean he doesn't know what to do on the offensive side of the ball? They have fundamental problems on this roster. Huge problems that need to be. You want to know how long this checklist is this offseason and how big the items are? That quarterback and that wide receiver can't coexist anymore. And frankly, yesterday, I thought that was, I was like, that's not even top 10 A.J. Brown controversies. It doesn't even make the top 10 list. EJ's sitting there, I'm watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Right? EQ can't handle his locker room. He's got a diva wide receiver.
What does EQ stand for?
Emotional intelligence.
Oh, he's got it. You don't think he's got it? You don't think
okay, so I saw again, he can't handle a diva wide receiver, which are so rare in this league.
He's been able to handle. See, what's coming to the surface now is stuff that they kept down and
dude, you don't think I know this stuff? Dude, you don't think I know this stuff? Are you kidding me?
So
I got an ear into that building. You know that. So listen, here's what I see. I see a guy that has no idea how to fix his offense. His offense it makes no sense.
Yeah, and guess how they're going to fix it this offseason? They have got to make some hard decisions about some key positions in that building and in that offense right now. And they're going to have to address the coaching staff as well. They got to do a whole lot of stuff. But I've got people.
What does he do well?
What's that?
What does Sirianni do well?
What does he do well? He runs the whole damn building. He does everything well.
He does?
Unbelievable.
First of all, how he runs the roster, right?
Great. Awesome. Does a great job.
Right.
Can't believe he hasn't caught it
he's got this year. Fangio runs the defense.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What does he
Nick
do?
Is the CEO of the operation. Okay. That's like saying, what does the CEO of Amazon do well? He doesn't really. He doesn't fulfill orders. He doesn't fix the website
because he's so smart. Yeah. You know what? Let's see. He's Bezos. Meets who else?
Bill Gates. Bill flipping Gates. Okay. Throw him in there. Why the hell not? He hasn't CEO'd in years, though. Listen, I've got people that work with Sirianni that talk about how he's better, and they've been working with people for decades. multiple head coaches, okay? And they say he's the best that I've ever seen at being a head coach, at running a building, at running a program. Like, how do you think he's not good at that stuff? How?
Again, when I look,
You're not going to win every year. They made the
it's not about winning
playoffs.
every year. These are elemental mistakes offensively. They're his idea of what do you I want to come in and knock you out.
Please, Mike, not today. I'm going to get punched.
I mean, are you kidding me? Like when
that
you
was
watch
me
them
years ago.
offensively all year long, he doesn't have a clue. He can't fix it.
He's got a clue. First of all, that offense looked great when the
You're an
offensive line was
apologist,
kicking ass in
dude.
the first half.
I get it. You work for the
yesterday.
league. You're an apologist. I get it.
I'm an apologist. This is what the league wants. The league doesn't want the same team to win every single year. That's structured that way. I'm sorry. Am I yelling too loud? My kids are closing the door on me.
Mike, what
This
other
fan base has become spoiled. Is my
Spoiled? Dude, the worst offense I've seen. This
I want
offense
you to
is
see
an
my face clearly. I
embarrassment.
feel like I'm
Watch
not-
the
am
rest
I
of the
smudged?
freaking
Hold on.
league.
Hold on. I want you to see this face clearly. Listen,
You're giving me a
can't
target.
do you want him fired?
Bullseye.
This is my question. Do you want him fired?
I do. I want Kevin
I'm outta
Stefanski in here.
I can't.
Well, good. Don't. I didn't ask for your opinion. You called me. I didn't ask for your opinion.
My opinion
I
matters.
don't think he's a smart football man. I don't. I don't think he. Compared to, I don't know, me. Yeah. Compared
so
to
you want John Har-
to
you want
compare
John Harbaugh in here.
other NFL people that I know. No,
Okay,
I don't.
You want John Harbaugh in here.
Did I
okay?
just say Kevin Stefanski, or you did not hear me?
I love Kevin. I think Kevin's a great head coach. How many Super Bowls has Kevin been
Doesn't
to? How many
matter.
times in
He
the
didn't have
playoffs?
Howie Roseman as his
Because he was with
GM
the
and that
Browns?
roster. Stop with
Okay.
how many Super Bowls? So Doug
You could-
Peterson's got more Super Bowls too. Was he a good
And you
coach?
guys ran him out and thought he sucked too.
Yeah, what
Listen,
happened? So he leaves. He goes to Jacksonville. They
Yeah,
falter. Then all of a sudden, he gets fired, and Trevor Lawrence becomes a great quarterback.
They made the playoffs down there in Jacksonville. They did a decent job down there in Jacksonville. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't trip over himself. Listen, it's very hard to make the playoffs and win Super Bowls in this league. So you're going to go sight unseen, leap of faith, and then in 2 years tell me, oh, well, whoever it is, whether it's Stefanski or whoever, maybe I was wrong and we want Nick back because Nick's crushing it down there in who the hell knows, Atlanta.
Mike, listen.
Hired him
If you
then.
first of all, I've known you a long time, so you should know that wouldn't be my answer to you. Okay, and you should know that I'm not one to go willy nilly about firing coaches. I never do that. Never do that. I'm not a hot taker. I make my decisions off of information that I get because I talk to a lot of people too, dude, down here. All right? I don't have a whole league to cover. I got one team to cover. And I talk to a lot of people down there as well.
I'm not saying you're uninformed. I'm just saying
And
you're
so
wrong.
I can process my own information and make my own call. And here's the thing. I like Sirianni as a guy. I really do. I like him.
Cares as a
And
guy.
I root for him. What's that?
Who cares as a guy? I don't care about that. Because he's a
My
coach.
point to you is I'm giving you my reasoning that this is
Right.
not emotional. This is not, I have an axe to grind. I like the guy. I wanted him to succeed. I don't think he has the answers, Mike. I don't think he has enough X and O chops to be a successful offensive head coach in this league. I don't think he's
disagree.
smart. I don't.
I
I
disagree,
don't think he's a
number
smart
one.
guy.
I disagree, number one. I also
Okay,
think number
well, you
two,
disagree.
he's going to have to. And listen, I know we all know what's going to happen here. You think Jeffrey Lurie's walking in the office today saying, "Hey guys, what happened this year?" Well, Jeffrey, we didn't do it. We're going to get him next year, though. We got him. Okay, great job, guys. I'll see you at the end of the week. Let me know what you come up with. Like, we know that's not going to happen. We know what's coming next. Okay, so he's got to assess the situation and see what he wants to do to help from an X.
Listen, do I think they're going to fire him? No, I don't think they're going to fire him. Would I make the change? I would. It's a big difference between something that I would do and something that I think they're going to do. Do I think they're going to fire him? No, I don't think they're going to fire him.
Okay, and now you come. Let's say you bring in Kevin or bring in whoever it is. What if Jalen's not his guy? What if they go, you know what?
Hey, by the
he's
way,
limited.
I think you're hitting your head on the ceiling with Jalen too. That's the
Okay.
other one.
So
That's the other problem. He's been a problem all year long too. All right?
So you're ready
if he doesn't run, he's Russell Wilson.
So you're ready for a complete reset. You would blow out the head coach, the quarterback.
So let me ask you a question. You think that you could go get whatever OC and then redo Jalen and you're gonna win a Super Bowl next year? Because I think you've reached your peak with this team.
Okay, listen, I'll entertain that conversation. Yeah, I'm good with that.
So if you reach your peak with this team, then
no. You said team. You're talking players. We can talk about that because there's got to be a hard look at this roster right now. That's what I'm saying.
Well, we agree there.
At the keyest of positions, and okay, I'm just saying that, right? Like you got.
Yeah, we're talking about the quarterback. This time, you don't need to mince words. We're talking about the quarterback.
You got to figure out what you want to do. You got to figure out there's a certain way he's got to play. There's a certain offense he's got to play in, and to do that, he's got to run the football.
Yeah, but here's the problem I have. I can't blame the whole thing. This offense has been a problem for 2 years, right? Really, last year you got lucky because you figured out. Lane went, "Hey Nick, let's be a downhill run team. Nick, let's run the ball." Right?
Oh, you think Lane was the one that
I'm breaking stones. All right.
Hey, by the way, what's going to happen with him? I mean, at some point he's got to go like.
Okay, forget Lane. We're getting off track. The point is that it's not all Hurts' fault. Like you want to throw all this ineptitude on the Hurts.
I'm not.
I'm not doing that. I think the coaching. No. I think the coaching staff has a huge part to play in this thing.
Okay, but I'm telling you now, you got to go find somebody with prospects elsewhere, because if it's one of the better offensive coordinators, it's somebody that somebody's clamoring over. Let's go Mike McDaniel. Fine, let's just pick one, right? Mike McDaniel or Cliff, whoever you want, right? They've got prospects elsewhere. And now they got to come here and say, okay, this is where I want to go. This is the guy I want to work with, right? Oh, I've got ideas for how this can work. We can tap into what was successful back in 2023. We need the personnel, blah, 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 whatever, right? What if they go, nah, I got this or that, or they've got other options, and so now you're trying to figure out something else, and now you've got to figure out if you can do it with him at all. I just like this is I don't envy Howie today. Howie's got a long list of stuff he's got to figure out today, and there ain't any easy answers on that entire list. That's all.
Of course not. But I just can't. I don't see what you see in Sirianni. I don't. I never have. I mean, I'll be honest with you.
He's not your flavor.
I don't think he's smart. I don't think he is smart.
Not a good head coach.
Stupid,
I can't get on board.
but I don't think he's some brilliant football mind. I don't.
I didn't say you don't have to be a brilliant football mind.
I think you do. At that level, I think you need to be a smart. I think you do.
You're looking at the other side. You're looking at the other sideline yesterday, and you're saying that's my guy, right?
Of course.
Okay. You want to play? You want a head coach, offensive play caller? I don't think you need that in this league.
Yeah. Listen, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
You have teams that are GM teams, teams that are coaches teams, right? This is a GM team, right? Meaning Howie and Jeffrey run the show. They're going to give you your roster. They're going to lean on you with big decisions, right? That's what that is. They've been successful. They've cycled. They won a Super Bowl with Doug Peterson, and they won a Super Bowl with Nick Sirianni. The common denominator is them, and we have seen afterwards plummets. So what's that tell me? It tells me they could go get another coach and win again.
That also, I think, that's got to do with a lot of things. That's got to do with the market. That's got to do with, I think you're right, the fact that answers come from upstairs, answers that or suggestions or decisions that can't be contended with, right, at some point, and it runs its course. I think it's got to do with a lot of things. I really do. And
well, of course it is. I mean, this isn't as simple as listen, hold on. This isn't as simple as I'm saying, hey, they should go hire Kevin Stefanski, and I think everything's going to be rosy. Of course not. We understand the nature of this business and how it changes year to year. It's set up that way. You said it earlier. The league sets it up that way. That you're going to, but the separate conversation, fundamentally, that you and I disagree on is Sirianni. I don't think he is that guy. I don't.
You said they won Super Bowls with Doug Peterson and Nick Sirianni. What I heard is they won Super Bowls despite those guys. I think that's what you're communicating right now.
No, it means that they performed their role for that year, but they're neither are some great mind that you go, oh my God, I got to have that guy coach.
Watch what happens if they fire Sirianni.
Okay,
see
well,
how many
good.
people say
And then what'll happen is the same thing that happened to Nick and Jack or Doug and Jackson.
Did Doug in Jacksonville? You think it's a fall off?
Yep, I do. But listen,
I also don't
he's
think
your
it was
boy.
that
You
much
like
of a
him. We disagree on the guy. That's all.
I also don't think it was that much of a fall off. I think Doug did a good job there. Good job, not great job. Good job. They made the playoffs. They were a contending team down there.
Trevor Lawrence had his best year this year.
Yeah. Okay, great. One and done.
Okay.
Right?
They balled out against an elite playoff tested team.
Yeah, let's go find.
What, are you
let's
serious?
go see who Doug beat. Let's go see who Doug beat those years. They had to beat somebody, right? They had to beat. I'm not.
Dude, did you watch Jacksonville?
Did
you watch Trevor Lawrence play this year?
They won a lot of regular season games.
You can't tell me that Trevor Lawrence didn't have his best year as an NFL quarterback.
Go take a look at the numbers, and I'll tell you that actually, no, it wasn't. I'm from that standpoint.
Go watch. Go look at your numbers. Because I watched the kid play and I went,
It was winning football. It was winning football. I'm with you. But, don't tell me it was some X's and O's genius stuff down there because the numbers don't bear out on that.
The kid had his best year, man. Come on. Stop.
From a football playing standpoint, yes. Yes, it was good football.
Whatever, dude, whatever.
Go look at the numbers.
I could care less. This argument's silly. It's silly. You think highly of those coaches more highly than I do. That's it. That's fine.
About one coach.
I think they won because of Howie, Jeffrey. Last year, you got Fangio, you got Statler there. It's a great support staff.
Still got Fangio. And who got help to get Fangio here and who worked well with him? Nick. I know you're saying it was Howie too. I get it. Fine.
It was Howie who worked well with him. Here, Vic. I won't bother you.
Operation.
Do what you do. I won't bother you.
Wasn't Vic with Nick on the coaching staff unofficially that year when they went to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
And said, "Hey, I like what's going on here. I want to be a part of this."
Yeah, he wanted to come home. All of a sudden, he wanted to be. He saw Sirianni as the next coming of Walsh.
There's a lot of people that like to go home. John Harbaugh grew up a Browns fan. You think he wants to go home right now? Let's see if he takes the Browns job. I love you. Did I take EJ's time? I'm so sorry if I did.
Yeah, we completely disagree on everything. Everything.
Me and you?
Yeah.
No, I think we both like some good Sunday gravy.
No, I didn't want to talk about gravy with you.
Not everything.
No, yeah, everything. Yeah.
Are we breaking up?
We're breaking up. We're done. Out.
I'm calling back tomorrow, pretending like it never happened, like Costanza.
See you. Kiss the girls.
I love you. Goodbye.
Love you. See you. The hell out of here. Let's take a break. We got to take care of some business. And then let's do a little bit of EJ, because I'm dying to talk to EJ about this. This is going to be this kind of show. I am completely out of my mind right now.
I'm all here for it too, because I feel bad being a mope. I feel like I'm beat over here, all depressed.
I'm angry. I'm angry because I don't see anything that Mike sees.
I'm surprised. He acted like people be knocking Sirianni's door down for one of these
everything's
jobs.
On Hurts.
Everything's Hurts. Yes.
And listen,
that's
I don't like. I thought he played horribly yesterday. Right? He didn't put anybody on his shoulders. There was no, Jordan, none of that. But I'm sorry. We're all talking Patullo. Whose production is it? Sirianni.
And he told us he's been involved in the offense lately.
And you know what happens? They get the guys like Mike, and they go, well, see, if I had a different quarterback, you don't think we watch film? You don't think we do this?
Right.
And Mike's like, yeah, sure, yeah. All right, let's take care of some business, shall we? Every day, I stop and get my Wawa coffee. It's my favorite place. It's like 15 minutes where I see people, neighbors. Everybody's got a local Wawa. It's the way to start your day. It's also the way to fuel your day. How about this breakfast deal? The $5 big breakfast deal. Sizzly, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown for a Finsky. That's right. All that for $5. It's available every morning, 5 to 11 Eastern time, right? So during breakfast hours.
Yeah.
You can't beat it, all right? Again, you get any Sizzly, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, all for $5. Quick, easy, filling breakfast. Fits right into your morning routine. Limited time available. Again, 5 to 11 every morning. You got to have Wawa, right? We got a weekend of NFL playoffs. Oh, my. Make sure you got your Xfinity set up in order. Call today. If you're not in order, you got to get to Xfinity today. The setup is next level. You got to check it out. It's unbelievable. My son, it's the only thing I have that I love is my Xfinity setup. I got next level watching. I got Series 4K, enhanced sound. I mean, you name it. It's such a great place. And because I watch all this stuff and I love all this stuff, there's nothing better than Xfinity. You got it all. There's no annual contracts, no hidden fees, and Xfinity's best equipment is included. Take it from me, a lot can change in 5 years. Championships are won, records are broken, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi should stay reliable. Learn more, Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that.
So our friend Johnny Goodtimes checked in with me on the text board. He's like, 2 Italians going at it like that about a third Italian. He's like, it's the best.
All right. Let's go to my man who covers the birds for PHLY, the best, E.J. Smith on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. Sorry about that, E.J.
Oh, no, you don't need to apologize for that. That was electric. I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm so frustrated at what I saw culminate yesterday. And it's been the culmination of what we've seen the entire year and even dating back to last year. Like if you take away the O-line last year, where that was your direct path, it's the same offense, bad spells, the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really was probably validating to a lot of Eagles fans in a weird way because of how the concerns that were prevalent all year were prevalent against the 49ers there. It was all the same stuff we've been talking about all year. The lack of a quarterback inclusive run game, the stagnant periods on offense, predictable play calling, questionable late game decisions. It was all there. I thought Bo put it well. They died as they lived. It was really it was frustrating because my big picture takeaway from this game was that being every year you realize like it's going to be the last time that you see this collection of players in a space together. But most years, I don't put too much into that. But there was just such a missed opportunity with this year's team. It took a lot of money, a lot of planning, a lot of leveraging for the future, if we're being honest, to put that collection of players together. And it just seems so anticlimactic that it's the issues that plague this team that are going to cause them to not reach their potential. And I think you saw that set in yesterday in the Eagles locker room.
All right, so let me ask you, because the basis of our argument, he basically is laying everything at the foot of Hurts. Now, meanwhile, I don't think he played well at all. I thought he was horrible yesterday. But beyond that, I can't get there. You can't tell me that their route tree and what they run is all Hurts. It's all because of his limitations. That this offense and their approach to let me win the turnover battle every week is all Hurts.
Yeah, no, I think it's a convenient excuse. I'm not saying he doesn't play a part of it. It's definitely.
I'm conceding that.
Yeah, we'll talk about the potential for them to replace Kevin Patullo here and what you'd want in a new OC, but I do, because I think it is a tough needle to thread with Nick and Jalen, philosophically from Nick and the way that Jalen plays and some of the limitations. But yeah, I agree with you. I think there will be people who point at Jalen as the primary culprit for the way the offense looks. I can't quite get there. I can't quite buy it. And we've been critical of Jalen on this show, throughout the season. But I think that the structure of the Eagles offense, we've seen it work with Jalen before. I think it takes creativity, and I think that's something that the Eagles coaching staff really lacked this season.
So all of a sudden you give them, I don't know. How about this? I saw Caleb Williams make great strides this year, right? I watched him completely ball out Saturday night, right? Now, is that Ben Johnson that actually is working with him and cultivating him and the whole thing? Like, listen, he still makes mistakes and his completion percentage is what it is, the whole thing. But I just saw market improvement with good coaching, right? I just saw it. Like, it's just, like, there are certain guys in the league that you go, that's a good coach. Like they make a difference. So while I'm not saying Nick is a bad coach, but why settle for that when you could go get, because I believe in Stefanski. I think Stefanski, and not because he's local, but Kevin is a really bright dude.
Yeah. No, and the only thing I want to say is that I don't know if Jalen fits in like a Shanahan, McVay type scheme.
He doesn't.
There's so many anticipation
He doesn't fit in that scheme. I fully agree.
Throws over the middle. Yeah.
But
I do think you can build an offense with more under center. If he's not going to be inclusive in the run game, he has to add the under center element to his game. And that's something we've seen Caleb Williams do with the Chicago Bears there. But, I think if you're telling me this is what it comes down to, that they're really going to have to reimagine how they play on offense, and you want to make sure you have a good steward in that reimagination. And I agree. Like, I don't know if Nick Sirianni is the one who authors the next chapter for the Eagles offense. And they're going to have some tough decisions to make at different position groups, and they're going to have to build this differently. So I agree. I think it's fair to say that, the way that the coaching staff operated this year, it does, like, you're going to have to ask some tough questions. I think, like, I listened to you and Mike, and, while I was listening and thinking about it, it's like, I would be shocked if the Eagles moved on from Nick Sirianni. But, like, I do think that the reflection of the way the season went, it's not going to be something that's completely off the table. It's not going to be something they don't discuss. Now, again, I'd still be very surprised if it happened, but, he's going to be evaluated for it, and it's going to be a harsh evaluation. It's funny how much the Super Bowl changes it. It's like if the Rams score on that final drive in the divisional round, just imagine the conversation we're having. And I think, that those are going to be the conversations that you have revolving the side.
You're right. I don't think they're going to make a move, right? I think they'll say we're going to hire the OC and that's what it is, right? That's what I think is going to happen. However, there's going to be a segment that will defend Sirianni and say, "Oh, he won a Super Bowl. What do you want?" Right? He won a Super Bowl. That will be their statement. He's won all these games. That will be their argument, right? And on paper, makes sense. Like, that's a salient argument, except where you dive deep and you really kind of take apart the puzzle and look inside, right? Or take apart the engine and look inside. You go, well, wait a second. How did they win? Like, 22, we'll go back. Steichen, they run their RPOs. Jalen is just Jalen, right? Before he gets beat up, he wants to run. Whole thing. Offense is terrific. Next year, we have the collapse, right? And then guys are going rogue, like the Seattle game. Like, stuff like that doesn't happen under Shanahan, right? It just doesn't. Then you go, Nick and Howie, they have him. He's on the ledge, right? He's teetering on the ledge. Yeah. They bring him back. He has an awful start because he has no plan, right? Like, his plan is the same thing, same offense. Jalen's throwing picks. It's ugly. It's 2-2. the bye comes, they're going to fire him. Like they heavily considered, hey, when should we do it? We're going to give him a couple of weeks, and we'll see how he does. If he fails one test, out. Well, got through it. Why? Because he leaned into an offensive line and Saquon Barkley and a great defense. So when I look at this stuff, and I look at this year, and I look at another great defensive year, I go, well, how much was because of him? I think that's fair to ask.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You know, it's this year was not a great reflection of Nick's strengths and weaknesses, and I think, you know, I do think he has strengths. I think I've said before, I think he's perfect for a front runner. You know, he's perfect at keeping a really talented team on track. But we've seen two examples now that when a team gets into a rut, when a team starts to spiral, he's not always the best at getting them out of it. You know, I think it's probably to do with him being like a consistent messenger. You know, that must be, you know, when a team's going well, going into a meeting room and saying the same 3 or 4 points, like that works. It keeps them on track. But when you have to figure it out, when you have to, you know, change course, he's not always, you know, he has not always been effective trying to change course. But, you know, like guys love to play for him. You know, and I actually do think that Nick is probably smarter in the meeting room than we'd expect. I think it's just in the heat of a game that we've seen this coaching staff really struggle to adjust and, you know, struggle to have that counterpunch, which they talk about so much.
Well, here's they play passive. They're not creative. Yeah. They come out and they have success early, right?
Yeah.
And then they go off a cliff. Now, why is that? Because other teams are adjusting, making adjustments on them, and they have no answers, right? I mean, basic stuff about Hurts under center, about tempo, things that we have talked about, lay people have talked about forever, that preceded when they did it. Like, we talk on this show, you talk on your show about Jalen under center, about tempo, all these different things. There were like elemental, basic. Like we don't get paid. We're not coach other than Fran, who should be in a to me should be in an organization. If they can't see that stuff, and do they see it? I'm sure, but they don't implement it. Why? Can't be all because it hurts.
I was about to say, I think that they'd probably put a lot of this at the feet of the quarterback. You know, I think that the offensive line injuries are a big part of it. But so, to me, again, that doesn't absolve how often they ran the ball on 2nd and long, especially yesterday. It doesn't absolve the one-dimensional approach that they've had in the second half of a lot of these games. And it just all year, it felt like they were just trying to will the run game to be the way it was last year. And I mean, we could have told them in week 5. Week 6, that it wasn't coming this year. That run game was nowhere to be found. And, you know, I think that is where, again, like I think that this was not a great reflection of Nick this season because, you know, even yesterday, like you get sideline
what is
outbursts.
a great reflection of Nick?
I think last year was. I think it's fair to say that last year was. Yeah,
because he stumbled onto the run game and what? Like he was Travis Bickle up until week 8. And then it took Big Dom to calm him down on the sidelines. You know what it is? Like, I think Nick is best suited for college. I think I've said this before. Yeah.
I
think he could be a CEO coach in college, have a ton of success, be a really good college coach. I just don't think he's sophisticated enough.
I just think when you look at what it has looked like when they get the offensive coordinator right, when it's not Nick's choice and a first-year play caller, I do think there's enough evidence that he can keep that team on track and that, you know, manage things. The game management stuff and the sideline outbursts, those are things he has to work on.
But last year with Kellen Moore wasn't smooth.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was post-bye week. And I agree with you that, like, it took him a while to get there. But I do I have such a hard time seeing it happen.
Like, talk to Kellen. Kellen's doing way more creative stuff in New Orleans.
Oh, for sure.
Than he ever did here.
Would he say it's Nick or would he say it's Jalen, though?
I think he'll say it's both. More the quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, but I do think that this.
But he also has his own philosophies. Like Sirianni's got his own offensive philosophies, and I don't think they're any good.
Yeah, it's win the turnover battle and try to win the explosive play
And
battle,
be
but not at the
passive.
expense of the turnover.
They don't
Yeah.
dictate.
Yeah, not all year. I mean, it's the stuff we talked about all season. So, I mean, and the reality is, if they, and again, to your point here, I'm not saying I think that Nick's going anywhere, but
He's not.
if they bring a different play caller and you're back on this roller coaster, you're always going to be on this roller
Well,
coaster.
that's the other point.
As long as you don't have a head coach that calls plays.
Thank you. And therein lies the other point that I've been making, that if you're come from the offensive side of the ball, you got to be able to step in and fix it. And he can't do that.
Yeah.
So people go, well, what about Harbaugh? Harbaugh's a CEO. Yeah, well, he also has Todd Monken with him. Like, who's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think the Eagles probably wish he was, right? he would make sense for like this next phase of Jalen without the run game. But,
Well, let's talk about that for a second.
In there. Yeah.
When could Howie get out of that contract?
It's a good question. I think honestly, everything I've read about Jalen's contract is that it's not as difficult to trade as you'd expect, but he's got the no trade clause. I think that's the big thing. So I think it's feasible. I mean, the Eagles, the way that they maneuver the cap, it's going to be feasible. But I think it's going to be a matter of, could they find a team that Jalen wants to go to that has the draft capital? I know that you guys have been bullish on Tanner McKee. I listen. He's looked good, but I almost feel like it has to be, if they're moving on from Jalen, it would probably have to be a quarterback available to bring in to keep this team in this championship window.
Dude, listen. Am I bullish on McKee? Yeah. And do I look at what happened in that last game and take anything out? No. I mean, he was playing behind a bunch of backups and, one kid who played like 3 snaps, right, on the O-line. Right? So the whole, you can't judge a kid like that. But there's certainly obvious limitations to his game. He's not athletic. He doesn't move very well. He's got a great arm, right? Like, he's got just a great, you'd have to run a Stafford type of offense with him.
Yeah.
Do I think he can do that? I do. But am I ready to make that leap? I'm not.
Yeah, I just don't think you can afford to leave much to chance. Like, that's what, again, this year was a missed opportunity in terms of having a championship window open and moving heaven and earth to build a roster like this. So to me, it's like you don't want to make moves that lower or increase the volatility for next season. You want to give it the best chance you can, because honestly, like, again, they're leveraging the future for these seasons. Now, I know that the way they maneuver the cap, like, it's not necessarily going to be like a catastrophic thing down the road, but still, your window's open. You have to maximize it, and that's why it is. In hindsight, it's like it's hard to square like hiring a first time play caller as your OC with a roster that's talented, especially now, with the benefit of hindsight.
Yeah, you're right.
Hey, EJ, with him as the CEO role, I wonder if his messaging and his effectiveness is the same next year, because if your CEO's main messaging and motto is turnover battle, turnover battle, turnover battle, and you're winning that, and your team's losing, and your players look to you, and you have no answers other than that, I mean, it seems like as a leader, you would be a little less effective in the room.
Yeah, I mean, they've still won a lot of games that way, and even they've won high-stakes games that way, but I just think that the correction needs to be, I think the thing that stands out about this year is they went too far in that direction at the expense of playing good offensive football. They went so far in that direction that it really impacted what they were willing to do offensively. And I think that there does have to be there has to be a correction there. And if there's not, then yeah, I do think that message starts to ring a little bit more hollow. If all of a sudden you're operating this rudimentary offense and these guys are looking at, across the league, like, AJ Brown said midway through the year, right? Like, he doesn't look at other receiver stats because it makes him upset. Like, at some point, these guys care about the production and what it looks like on offense, that it can't be the message of the turnover battle over that stuff for sure.
EJ, I mean, you can't not watch that game yesterday and just and come away in less than 24 hours being sane. You can't, because they had a 10-play, 23-yard drive 10 plays. Are you freaking kidding me? They held the ball for 35 minutes. Like, dude, it takes them forever to get the play in. It takes they bleed the clock. They're so freaking slow. They're so passive. They're such an ugly offense.
It makes no sense. We've been saying it all year. It is just, and that's my thing is like, even if it's, I mean, I'd be surprised if Kevin Patullo is back, but I think you have to do more than that. I don't know what it's going to be, because they're all difficult conversations. They're the conversations we've been having this morning. But to me, it's got to be more than that. I don't think it's quite as simple as, you get a different play caller in, because it's a tight needle to thread with Nick and Jalen. Those two philosophically, they don't offer a ton of space for the offensive coordinator to come in and just change everything.
I mean, you're saying basically what Mike G said. It's got to be more than offensive coordinator, and if it's more than offensive coordinator, it's either got to be a head coach or a quarterback. I mean, these are the three elements we're all talking about.
I think there's probably a third scenario where one of those two is in agreement with a significant shift in philosophy. I think that's the conversation you're going to have with those guys.
Okay, well, what possibly is the philosophy? Like,
I mean, for Nick,
think about this for a second. You come up with a philosophy, just as an example.
For Nick to be probably less involved in the overall, overall philosophy.
I knew you'd say that.
Right.
And that goes back to my point. So for the success of the team, I need the head coach to be
in another location, another building.
Right out of the room. But he's so smart, like Garafolo, like Mikey G says, and he's so brilliant, and there'll be teams lining up to hire him. But yet, I need him outside the room.
There
Makes sense of that, EJ. What am I, nuts?
No, I think, listen, he's a CEO coach, right? And I think like the game management stuff, sideline outbursts, he has to improve those things if he's going to be a CEO coach. I don't know. I just have such a hard time.
You got a CEO with bad messaging. He's got no demeanor. He's terrible on the sidelines.
I mean,
he's terrible at scheme.
Again, like none of it all. It doesn't all go. It just doesn't go. And again, I like Nick. I hate the way I feel, but I feel like if you keep him, you're settling. Again, I'm not telling you he's co-tight or the dumbest guy ever or the worst coach ever. I'm not telling you that. But status quo is just settling. And people go, well, what's Kevin Stefanski going to win a Super Bowl? Well, you go to Cleveland and try to work there, right? Like, if you actually see these concepts, understand, I talked to Joe Flacco about Kevin, right? Like, Kevin's a sharp freaking dude, man. I mean, that's where I would go. And I would take it. If I had to take a step back and kind of figure this out, you might have to. AJ's gone. What happened there yesterday? Why'd he roll without talking to the media?
He didn't explain it. AJ hasn't talked in probably 5 weeks. He's been radio silence, and it didn't surprise me that he didn't want to talk after the game. I mean, I don't know. Because of the fact that he walked around the locker room and you basically said his goodbyes to all his teammates. He didn't, he didn't explain it. He didn't talk. So I think it's fair to attribute whatever you want to that, and I think that there was some significance. Like, a lot of guys are saying bye to each other, but AJ was definitely, making a point of saying goodbye to every single one of those guys. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason.
Yeah, but he's gone. You got to figure out what you're going to do. The defense, you're going to have to start paying these kids, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like, you might have to lean
Nolan
in.
Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ajomo, Reed Blankenship, Nakobe Dean. Like, all either extension eligible or free agents this season.
Like, you may have to lean in and go, like, defense. Like, start drafting offense, which you're going to have to do. Tight end, receiver, another tackle. Like, you got a lot of work to do offensively. I don't know that the window is still as open. It's always open in this league. But I'll be honest with you, it's shrunk a lot. Like, you may have to take a little bit of a step back to not go toward the bottom.
Yeah, to me, you build this offense to be just a ball control bully offense. I know Fran will get a kick out of this. They should draft 2 fullbacks and 2 tight ends in the offseason and just make this the just bludgeon teams every week and try to win with the defense.
Yeah, I'm depressed. All right. Well, we're going to need to talk later in the week, tomorrow, all week long. There's going to be a lot of
it's
stuff.
It's going to be an interesting week.
Yeah.
A lot of shoes to drop.
I can't believe they lost to that team. Are you freaking kidding me? That they lost at home. The Kittle goes out early. They're depleted. Yeah. God bless Shanahan and Salah. They coached brilliantly. But, geez, you lost at home? You held the ball for 35 minutes.
Yeah, and they lost in the exact way that you would have expected them to lose.
Their play calling yesterday was horrible. So weak.
Jordan Mailata said after the game, the 49ers started, rolling a safety down into the box in the second half because they were expecting us to run the ball. And it's like, it's crazy that's what they're talking about.
Why didn't he run? I watched Caleb run. I watched Allen run. Last night, Herbert, May. I saw Purdy run. Why didn't the quarterback run?
They weren't respecting it. That Saquon cutback run, that shows you how open the keep was for Jalen pretty much for at least the entire first half. They were crashing down on that edge. So, I feel like the boy who cried wolf. We both probably have been, right? We've been saying it all year. This is the week where they finally unlock the run game.
I saw the same shotgun vomit, right, yesterday. Even when he did go on their center, I didn't see any play action. They don't set up the freaking play action, EJ.
They need someone to marry the run and the pass, right?
But yet Sirianni's some great coach like takes the game down. Well, he won 60 games, Ant. Yeah, were they his wins or were they Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio and Shane Steichen? Stop. All of a sudden he's Madden. Give me a break. All right, buddy. I love you.
I'm about to say it's been a fun conversation.
Has it?
I tried to bring some insight. I don't know.
You always bring insight.
Only so much
I'm
I
not
can
mad
defend.
at you.
Yeah.
You always bring insight.
No. I know you.
I'm frustrated.
I know you're not mad at me. Yeah.
I'm frustrated. I watch the game. I see no plan. No freaking. I just see a team that wasted. They wasted this year. I want to cry. This is supposed to be a team. You're coming in as defending champs. And you know what's true about it? They ran from that. New season. We're not the champs. Well, the freaking Chiefs would pass around a crown, right? They embraced it. All this tough nonsense out of Sirianni, I see a team that's passive.
Yeah, no, they didn't play with any confidence. Yeah.
You're the champs. Be the champs. Act like the champs. That's all I got. All right, buddy.
All right, guys. Talk soon.
Thanks, CJ.
Talk soon.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We got our man, Franny Phillips. Franny's like, I got to deal with this stuff. Franny's coming up next. But first, a word from our friends.
Hey, picture this. A fan cave that actually feels like your dream setup. And thanks to the people at Ashley, that could be real. We're giving away a $2,500 Ashley Furniture gift card. You can go big on a sectional, add some stylish pieces, or trick out your space for game day. It's all up to you. And it's really simple. You just visit ashleyfancave.com, see if you're eligible, fill out the form, and you're entered. It's that simple. Enter now, and you might be watching the next big game in a fan cave built by you, courtesy of Ashley.
Let's talk pests. Rats and roaches and all kinds of creepy crawlers.
Cutters.
All right. Evans Cutter Gauthier.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Evans Pest Control. Not some giant national chain. Family-owned, community-focused pest control company right here in our area, and they've been earning the trust of our neighbors for years. I can tell you here where there's a rat problem, and it has been eradicated.
I haven't seen
by
any
Evans
turds.
Pest Control. They can handle anything: rodents, insects, termites, bed bugs. They offer priority services consultations, which is huge when you have a problem with pests. All right, tell you got to check it out. They got won the Best of Philly and Philly Favorite Gold Award. They got to go and visit evanspestmgmt.com. That's Evans Pest Control at evanspestmgmt.com.
Hey, picture this, a fan cave that actually feels like your dream setup. And thanks to the people at Ashley, that could be real. We're giving away a $2,500 Ashley Furniture gift card. You can go big on a sectional, add some stylish pieces, or trick out your space for game day. It's all up to you, and it's really simple. You just visit ashleyfancave.com, see if you're eligible, fill out the form, and you're entered. It's that simple. Enter now, and you might be watching the next big game in a fan cave built by you, courtesy of Ashley.
All right, welcome back.
It's a great day here. PHLY, it's fun.
Let's go to Fran on the Xfinity mobile call-in line. The great Fran Duffy, Franny Films. Good morning.
Morning, guys. Wish I could say it's a good morning, but it's a morning.
It's a morning.
Yeah, I saw the same stuff yet again, Fran.
They are who we thought they were, right? Like it's the old Denny Green line. It's honestly, I'm like going through, I'm setting my notes up for the show later today, and it's all the same things that we've talked about all season long. They all showed up in this game, like literally everything. You want to talk about being, running predictable routes for DBs to jump from off coverage. You want to talk about running on second and third and long. You want to talk about the long bouts of 3 and out. There was a moment in the game yesterday. Remember the play action rollout where Hurts slides and he gets hit late, so it's a roughness call. It's like, oh, they get an extra 15 yards. I was like, when's the last time they got more than 15 yards? Guys, it was early second quarter, that double screen they ran to Saquon Barkley. That play was early fourth quarter. So they went 2 quarters without gaining anything more than 15 yards. And this was a historic rate of 3 and outs from an offense in the NFL over the last 2 decades. So yeah, more of the same there. I'm watching. I'm on the final drive right now on the film. Last play of the game, they call 4 verts into cover 4. All 4 routes running right into 4 defenders. That's Robert Sala's identity, is cover 4. That's what he's always been.
Yes.
That's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
You go to the first play of the drive, Ant. It was a completion to Saquon Barkley underneath.
Yeah.
The reason why that ball went to Saquon underneath is because they ran 4 verts into cover 4 on the very first play of the drive, and it was completely covered up, and Hurts had nowhere to go, and he went to the check down.
Yeah.
It's just more of the same. It was literally like playing all the hits in this game.
Yeah, it's true. And the only time it's amazing. He's under center. I'm going, all right, well, this is where the play action hits. No, nothing. How many times? And by the way, the quarterback was terrible yesterday. He doesn't stand in the pocket to the last minute. He bails, throws the ball away out of bounds. I saw that 8 times yesterday. He had
got worse
his
as the game
pocket,
went on.
Well, let me ask you, because it looked to me at the game that he had a little more time before he bailed. And all I know is I'm watching quarterbacks last night, 2 young quarterbacks, stand in there, get plowed, but deliver the ball.
Yeah, and look, this is something that we've talked about, is when you have a quarterback that is an issue for, that's not a strength, right? Then you have to find ways schematically to mitigate that, to work around that. Every player has weaknesses, every player has strengths. So find what the strengths are, accentuate the strengths, mitigate the weaknesses, find ways to navigate around it. So, the quarterbacks we can talk through Caleb Williams, we could talk through Justin Herbert, we could talk through Jared Goff, we could talk through all these guys. Everybody gets excited about the quarterback list. At the end of the day, there's 3 or 4 elite guys any given year, and then it's basically a large chunk of everybody else. And with everybody else, in any given year, it's which coaching staff did a better job of mitigating the weaknesses of their quarterback, and which coaching staff did a better job of accentuating the strengths of that quarterback. And did they have injury luck along the way in terms of the offensive line to be able to navigate that? That's how this goes at the end of the day in every NFL season. And yeah, for the majority of this year, the quarterback, the health of the pass game was not good. It was not good enough for them to play winning football.
How many times does the play clock just bleed, right? It just bleeds. They're always up against it. Never are they at the line and Jalen, it's always rushing and they don't snap the ball with 10 seconds to go on the play clock. It's always at the end. Never. There's never any seamlessness, ever.
There was a play in the second quarter where you see like, it's not, Jalen's trying to reset the play. He's flipping the formation. He's changing routes. But you've got Landon Dickerson pointing stuff out. You've got Dallas Goedert pointing this way. You've got AJ, Devontae Smith pointing this way. You got Saquon Bar. Too many cooks in the kitchen. Nobody like taking command. Like, hey, this is my operation. This is what we're doing. And it was just, to me, like after the opening script yesterday, the offense was completely out of sorts. Completely out of sorts. It was, and you heard Brady talking about it on the broadcast. Was like, where's the tempo? Where's the urgency? Like where is the command right now? And so those
I brought up
those are
tempo
things that don't show up in the box
How many
score.
times have we talked about tempo? You and I. They don't do it. Why? Drive
they've always
starter.
been good at
Get
it.
a freaking
Hurts has
driver.
always
He's
been
got a
good at
drive
it.
starter in the pocket.
Yeah, and that's an area where Hurts has always been good. When we're going to go tempo, we're going to go hurry up. And that's what I mean, like about leaning into a quarterback's strengths and trying to take away the weaknesses. Obviously there's room for the in between where you're trying to improve on weaknesses. You're trying to get so you sprinkle that stuff in. But at the end of the day, like you said it last week, like it was nut cutting time going into this game. And to me, like I'm watching, and as I'm going through the film, and Dan Orlovsky pointed this out from ESPN last night on social media. He's like, yeah, like you're going through that final drive. Oh yeah, they ran this play 3 times today.
Yeah,
oh yeah, they
reposted
ran this play. It's all the same stuff. It's a hyper shrunk down game plan. And look, that's not entirely. It doesn't. Well, I shouldn't say. We don't know if that's entirely on the offensive coordinator, if that's entirely on the head coach, if that's how much of that is the quarterback. Like all that gets thrown in. But if you are Jeffrey Lurie, like you need to, and he knows this now, but you have to look at this entire operation. And that's where I think when Mike said earlier, like everything's got to get looked at. The entire operation's got to get looked at. It's not, to me, like it's not just as clean and simple. It's unlikely to be not as clean and simple as, oh yeah, Kevin Patullo is 100% of the problem. Get him out. I don't know if that's necessarily the issue right now.
Agreed. I think you got to look at everything: the quarterback, the OC, which is obvious, and the coach. Because again, I keep asking the question, right? What does he do well? Well, he has the ability. He handles the building well. I know a lot of guys that handle the building well across the league, right? What does he do exceptional? Because his demeanor on the sidelines is borderline embarrassing at times, right? Like, I get it. Like, he's a player's guy. Okay. I'm not telling you he's a complete buffoon. He's got traits. But are these traits worth saving? Are you going, oh my God, if I let him go, all these teams are clamoring to go hire him? Like when the Browns let Stefanski go, like I understand about who Kevin Stefanski is. Like Kevin Stefanski is getting a lot of heat, rightly so. Does Sirianni have that same reputation? Because I don't hear the same. I don't hear it.
And honestly, you look around, this coaching cycle has turned into a really interesting one really fast because, no one necessarily knew for sure who was going to be on the market. And when you saw the list, it was like, oh, like it's kind of an uninspiring list. And then all of a sudden, John Harbaugh, Kevin Stefanski, Mike McDaniel, and all these guys are getting interviews right away because, you want to get. And so to your point, I do think that would be interesting. It's just tough to disentangle the entire operation. So, for us on the outside to say like, oh, like how much of this is on Nick? How much of this is on Patullo? How much of this is on Hurts? Because sometimes you know how this goes. Like sometimes like the combination is just not right. It's like putting together a meal. You don't have the right flavor profile here. You don't have all of a sudden you change one ingredient out and the whole meal tastes different. You change out the coordinator, like maybe that's the secret sauce that's required to make this offense hum the way that we would expect it to.
But they didn't hum. It didn't hum last year. It was a basic offense that had one of the elite O-lines at the time because they obviously got banged up this year, and an elite running back. That's what it was. We still saw spells of the 3 and outs. The pass game sucked. right? Like,
Well, and that's the thing. Yes. So, to me, when I look at what the issue ultimately for this team this year was that the offensive line was a shell of what we saw last year, where it was a number one, number two unit in football, and this year, due to injury, mostly due to injury, was not that group. And so what that meant was that the running back, the run game dropped off, and you put more emphasis on the drop back pass game. And yeah, like the drop back pass game, you look at the last like 2, 3, 4 years. That has not been a strength of this offense. So if you're leaning more into the drop back pass game, and it's not been as consistent, and that's why like we've had these conversations over the last few weeks of like, oh, what do they need to do in the drop? Do they need to do more play action? Do they need to do more of this, more of this? They are not we're just going to drop back and pick you apart. Like that's not the identity of this passing game. And so if you want to play that way without the run game, it's tough, especially if you're not incorporating the quarterback run game, which you were just talking about that with EJ, like. If you're going to strip away all of this, and that's where you're going to lean into when it's not the strength, you're going to get an offense that looks the way it did.
well, and here's the thing. If Sirianni is that great of a head coach, then how come he can't get Hurts to run?
There's a saying in coaching that you're either coaching it or you're allowing it to happen. And so it's one of those things where, and this goes to a lot of this stuff, right? But, and EJ brought up the point of maybe when you bring in an offensive coordinator, it's not necessarily like, hey, like a new set of rules and things like that. Getting someone to, getting the quarterback to buy in. It's the same thing that happened. We talked about this. Matt LaFleur gets hired by the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers is there. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to play under center. He doesn't want to do all this pre-snap motion stuff. He wants to be the sheriff at the line of scrimmage,
right.
And he wants to be able to point. He wants to own the show. But LaFleur is like, hey, like, no, like, buy into this. This is good. This is good, efficient football. And the first year was a little rocky. Second year he wins MVP and they go on a run, right? Like that's sometimes you need that kind of a coach, to kind of just set the tone. Say like, this is my show. Ben Johnson with Caleb Williams, a similar kind of arc, right? And he's a younger quarterback. He didn't have the cachet that Rodgers did, but sometimes you need that, and the styles don't necessarily mesh right away. But you're able to kind of get the guy incorporated and bought in over the course of a season.
Did you see how how Ben Johnson orchestrated this thing so brilliantly, starting from the preseason? Tyson Bagent, right? Remember their backup? Remember he goes banana. Yep. All he kept doing was praising him. Look at how he runs this. Look at that. Gives him a little deal, right? Like he's getting the messages are all at Caleb, right? Like the way he's doing it. The puppet strings pulling them left and right. Now you fast forward all the way back to Saturday night, and the kid's playing within his offense and still has the creativity to make a fourth down throw, falling off his back foot, throwing a dime for a game winner, right? Like,
yep.
That's coaching. That's coaching.
Yep. And honestly, like that's where, when we've seen this offense operate at the highest clip, it's okay. You're sprinkling in a little bit of everything. Hey, it's going to be some of the schemed up stuff. You're going to get, think back to the identity of this Eagles offense when they went to that first Super Bowl in 2022 with this combination, right? It was, hey, we're going to lean into vertical shots and the RPOs. And so we're going to get that's your layups are going to be these RPOs. It's automatic. We're going to get into the third one. We're going to go push, and you've got some vertical shots outside the numbers, and we're going to make this work. And then, like so every once in a while, like Jalen, you're going to go and you're going to make a play, and you get those guys confidence. Execution breeds confidence with those guys. You get them rolling, and now all of a sudden, now you're off and running. When you have these long spurts, and you could see it with this team, like literally on film, like no announcers, no noise, no nothing. You could feel the lack of confidence with this offense throughout the course of the season. Like you're watching and you see guys like hands up, like double hand, palms up, like what's going on, pointing, like guys like standing, no urgency. Like the confidence was not there. And it happened like early on.
That word is dead on. I was talking to a guy last night and he said they just have no confidence.
Yep. Yeah. You literally could see it on the tape. Go to week 3 against the Rams. Week 4 against the Bucs game. Like there was a very apparent early on that just the urgency, the confidence just like was not there for a team that just won a Super Bowl like 8 months earlier, right? With an offense that returned every 10 of 11 starters. And the 11th starter was someone that was on the team last year and a high pick that you're like, oh yeah, like, all right, we're still going to be rolling. It was unique. It was unique. And honestly, like the fact that it got progressively worse as the season went on. They go to the bye week and it's like, oh man, like, all right, like this is the time to reset. And it was exponentially worse after the bye week. And to me, like maybe shame on me. Like last week, I thought, all right, you know what? The talent is too much. They get the offensive line healthy. And I'm gonna be honest, like I don't know if it would have lasted to next week, but Landon Dickerson looked as powerful yesterday as he had looked in 2 months. Like Cam Jurgens, they were moving guys off the ball. Like he had the penalty, but they're moving guys off the ball. That rest that they got last week, I think, helped those guys up front, and that's probably why they leaned into the run game as much. But man, like all the same frustrating things that we saw from this offense, they all reared their head yesterday.
I mean, because like, in the end, they held the ball for 35 minutes and like did nothing with it, really. Like for all that time they possessed the ball, it was such empty time. And it felt like they were just bleeding it and making it a rock fight. When you got a team that's wounded and then they lose Kittle early in the game, right? Like, so why aren't you attacking that team, building a lead, and then you build the lead with your defense? Come on.
This is a defense, we're talking about San Francisco, that couldn't stop a nosebleed from week 6 on. The moment they lost Fred Warner to that dislocated ankle, they haven't been able to stop anybody all season. They had the fewest number of sacks in the NFL, the second fewest number of interceptions. The only reason they were number 2 is because the Jets didn't record a pick all year, right? So you've got a defense that had not been able to create explosives, create negative plays, take the ball away at one of the highest rates in football. And you were scared. You're playing passive throughout the course of the night. It was one of the first 3rd and long dropbacks of the afternoon. The Eagles come out in an empty set, and you've got 2 guys outside your tackles, and you've got 3 receivers spread out. What's the thing we talked about ad nauseum? You have 3 curl routes on 3rd and 14, 3 curl routes with the other 2 receivers chipping the defensive ends against the worst pass rush in football, worst pressure rate in the playoffs, fewest sacks in football. You're helping out Mailata and Fred Johnson. And you've got fewer eligibles out in the route, and Jalen's got nowhere to go. That he ends up throwing it, and it's short of the sticks because the curl route, bring them back. They're short of the sticks. Like, she's like, what? Like, why? Why do you not have the confidence in your tackles to be able to hold up against pass rushers that are fourth string for most teams?
Exactly.
It's bewildering.
Let me ask you too. Where was Goddard? Like, you want to talk about a mismatch? You had the Niners leak yards to the tight end. You got all those new linebackers. You can't exploit Goddard? I don't understand that. You had one big play to him. You had a chance. They ran a tight end wheel at one point, I think. Do you remember the one that they went down the field? Work the middle of the field. The middle of the field's wide open.
But that's what, to me, like, and I don't know, like, if the weather forecast like changed at all in terms of like the wind, but Brady talking about it on the broadcast, he said it very early on. He was like, yeah, like this is not a game where you're throwing like deep vertical, like over the, like moonshots.
No,
like,
it was not.
This is like firm touch, like you're thrown on a line. They had no intermediate pass game. You talk about like chunk plays, and I mentioned that the stat earlier of like, oh, that nothing over 15 yards. This is but that's the way this pass game has been all season. I'm not just talking like middle of the field, like throws between 10 and 20, right? Like, so like 14 yards, 15 yards. Honestly, when you look at the best offenses in football, the most explosive offenses in football, the teams that create those biggest explosive plays, that's where the ball is thrown in that area, create yards after catch, and that's where the explosives come. It's not just bombs away, throwing 30 yards downfield,
Exactly.
But they're throwing moonshots, like deep wheel routes to Dallas Goedert that have no prayer. You're throwing the A.J. Brown, and everyone's coming on A.J., but Brady called it out from Jump Street. It's like, yeah, like you're throwing this into the wind. Those are tough balls to be able to track and be able to finish. Like, yeah, they hit your fingers, you catch it. I get it, but at the end of the day, are you putting your players in best position to succeed? And I would say,
and that's why you watched the Rams, right? You watched you watched freaking Bryce Young, right?
I was just going to say Carolina, no question. Yep.
I mean, Coker. I'm watching. Yep. I'm watching like really good in cuts. I'm watching offense. Little Bryce Young is doing it.
He can see over the middle.
I mean,
like 5'8".
What are we doing? Like, and then I watched what yesterday gives you against a nothing defense. That was against the Rams defense. This defense, this Niner defense, like you've said time and time again, and like it's that. So that's my problem overall with Sirianni, because ultimately he let it happen. Like, it's under your watch. I don't care about OCs. Yeah, I get it. He's not good. He's a bad play caller. Sequencing not good. Whatever. This whole you're the producer. It's your production, and I see the same flaws that just show itself. So I go, I got to do better. All due respect, Nick.
Yeah, and that's those are the conversations that are being had right now. And honestly, I'm sure, like, Jeffrey Lurie is like having those conversations in October, right? Like, you have those weekly check-ins. Like, those are questions I'm sure that were being asked, because for what was being paid, we talked all offseason about, like, from a money standpoint, a cash flow standpoint with the Eagles. They said, like, they were much more cognizant in the last, we'll say, 18 to 24 months of where money was being spent, how money was being spent, are we getting return on investment in all these areas, like across the board. So to put this much money into this offense and to get the product that they got, you bet that he was asking those questions in September, October, November, December, and now, like, January 12th. Yeah, like, you're having those conversations. And so we'll see what decisions get made out of it. I'm sure there are going to be some difficult and uncomfortable conversations had if they haven't already happened in the last 24 hours.
So here's the problem, right? The problem is, do you think that this group, and that includes the head coach, the OC, and the quarterback, has hit its head on the ceiling? Like, this is the best you're going to get out of them. Because pick your poison. Change the OC. Change the quarterback. Change the coach, right? Like, I don't know that you're going to get anything different. Like, you might have gotten all you can out of that group. And listen, on the way out, I salute you. You won a Super Bowl. You won a lot of games. Great job. But going forward, this isn't about, hey, you're owed from the past. It's about going forward. Going forward, is this group going to resuscitate? I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that that's what, the Jeffrey Lurie and, they are making that decision now. You can't just keep Nick Sirianni because of what the record has been, and you won a Super Bowl 11 months ago. If that's the only reason, then I would say, and I would think that they would agree, that's not you can't just keep him because of that reason. It's got to be, are you going to be a part of the solution moving forward? Are you on the same page with how they're going to fix this moving forward? And honestly, that's part of, and we know this based off the reporting, that's what happened with Doug Peterson in 2020, was that they were not on the same page for how to get those problems fixed moving forward. And that was when they decided to part ways. And it happened, what was it, 10 days after the season? It was very late in the process. So to me, like, who knows, like, how this is going to play out? I think a lot of different options would probably be on the table. We'll see. It's certainly going to be fascinating here in the next couple of weeks to see, like, all right, what conclusions are made, what decisions are made, what's the plan here moving into 2026. I'm not hearing you guys.
Can you hear me now?
There we go. Gotcha.
Cool. Can they convince themselves in NovaCare, the building, that they're only a healthy offensive line and an offensive coordinator away from going back to the Super Bowl?
Going back, I mean, competing for a Super Bowl, yeah, they might be able to tell themselves that story, and honestly, that they might be right with that. And that's the thing, is that if the offensive line is healthy and they're moving people off the ball and now the run game's back and you're able to do that, yeah, that's the thing, is we've seen them do it before with this combination, and so yeah, there's reason to believe, yeah, you get that offensive line back.
But that's not the way you can't approach it. Like, everything's optimum. Like, you're going to have injuries. Lane Johnson's another year older if he doesn't retire. Like, that's going to happen. Teams, look at the Bears. They lost their center. The Chargers lost both their tackles. Like, guys are going down left and right. Like, you can't make that be your basis of I'm just going to lean into the run game. I got my O-line back. You got to be able to overcome adversity. And that's just not enough of a plan.
Yeah, I mean, and that would be the change at the coordinator spot, right? Like you're adding in a new play caller with new ideas and new plans on how to fix some of the conceptual things. But that would be where you would land if you are leadership to say, hey, you know what? You get the offensive line back healthy with the new pass game ideas. So all right, the pass game improves and the run game improves, pass protection improves. Now we're cooking. That's enough to where that could fix some of the issues, a lot of the issues that we saw this season.
The coach, what's his role? Because in the end, this is his offense. Patullo may be calling the plays, but again, these are his concepts. This is his philosophy. This is his show. So you're talking about bringing somebody else in from the outside to completely change it. What's he doing? Twiddling his thumbs in the corner? Being CEO?
They did this in 23 after losing the Super Bowl the previous year, and they basically said, all right, like this is Kellen Moore's offense, this is Kellen Moore's show, and we expected that offense from a philosophical standpoint was going to mirror a lot of the things that we saw from Kellen Moore when he was a coordinator with the Chargers and a coordinator with the Cowboys. I remember writing pieces when I first got here to PHLY, like, all right, this is what we can expect from this Eagles offense. This is what Kellen Moore did, and no, conceptually was not the same. Now, they did a little bit more of this. Like there are levels, right? So you're sliding a couple levels here, you're pulling a couple levels there. Yeah, there's levels to everything. But yeah, they still leaned into a lot of the things that we've talked about. The drop back pass game, again, was not great. But they've already done down this road. That said, that was 2 years ago. And not just with Sirianni, but Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl MVP. So if you said like, hey, like we're going to change what we're doing from a pass game standpoint, I can envision a world where a quarterback who won a Super Bowl MVP and saying like, hey, like, no, like we're doing it the way that we won a Super Bowl doing this way. And Nick Sirianni also saying like, hey, like I won a Super Bowl doing it this way. So, that's where the frustration, the pride, like all those things could come to a head. And so if everyone's not on the same page, that to me is when there are bigger changes where it's not just the coordinator or not just these small things that might pop out. Not small, but you know what I mean. Like that's where you might get into changes at coach, changes at quarterback, those kinds of things.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm wearing my St. Joe's Prep pullover for a reason. Because who went there?
Kyle McCord.
Who went there, Franny?
That would be Stefanski. Yes.
Yes. Did it for a reason.
I'm still amazed. I'm looking at it.
A couple weeks.
It's like gone viral, the clip at the timeout of a 4th and 11 where you got Hurts, Patullo, and Nick standing there, and they're looking at each other, and they come out with the 4 verticals. Like someone's like, 4 hitches at the sticks, they'll never see it coming. Like that's the call.
But honestly, guys, like that, I said this. This is how I led off the post game show last night. Was if only this team had opportunities to run 2-minute drills all season, to be able to lean back on successful experience running those. How many times did we see at the end of the first half? And it became like, in the chat, with listeners, with viewers, like, oh, you guys are complaining about, the 2-minute drill at the end of the first half again. It's like, yeah, because they haven't done it. They don't want to do it. They don't put their foot in the gas and try and step on the other team's throat in those kind of situations. Yes. And now for the season to come down to that situation and they fail and they fall short, it's poetic. Like it's literally like this is how it was always going to go. They you had all these opportunities. They had 4 timeouts with the 2-minute, because 3 timeouts with the 2-minute warning to go out and score a touchdown. And the fact that they couldn't do it, you took that sack on first down, and they still had all their timeouts. And I'm sitting there on my couch. I'm like, call a timeout. Like it's not about stopping the clock. Just get a little reset. Just recalibrate. Hey, come to the sideline. Let's just hey, this is what we're gonna do. This is the plan. But no, like, all right, we're going to go. System is, and now it's, all right, we're down to under 5 seconds. We're going to snap the ball, and now it's hectic. And now you get down to 3rd and long, and you get to 4th and long, and then you fail. You run 4 verts into cover 4, and with 2 timeouts in hand, in your pocket. Why? Because you were worried about scoring with too much time left on the clock for San Francisco to get an explosive play against a defense that doesn't give up explosives, like by identity doesn't do it. It was just poetic that's how it all ended up.
Yes. Brilliant. Franny, that is absolutely brilliant. And you watch the rest of the weekend, Carolina and the Rams, Packers and Bears. I mean, they were going back and forth in the 4th quarter. Bills and Jags going up and down in the 4th quarter, right? End the games. Quick. Boom, 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 boom. And they never do that. Never.
They said it on the broadcast yesterday when the 2-minute drill started. The previous 3 playoff games so far in the weekend, the team that had the ball down at the 2-minute warning won the game.
Yeah.
All three offenses went out, executed, scored the touchdown to win the game. And the Eagles were the first. They were the fourth one to have the opportunity and the only one to fail.
They just slow move. Franny, I love you. I'm going to be bothering you a lot, and then we get the draft and everything else, but we love you. You know the deal. Thanks, brother. Appreciate
it, guys. We'll talk soon.
There he is, the great Franny Films.
It's a tough day.
Let's take care of some business. We got Murph coming up. It's a Murphy Monday. Let's see what the Murph has to say.
Great.
On a Murphy Monday.
Everybody pull over.
One of the great columnists in our area. I'll tell you one thing. Please, Phillies, get Bo Bichette. Please, I need Bo Bichette. You're meeting with him today. Sign him. I'm begging. What are we doing? No, actually, this was supposed to be Ashley, you know? Oh, this is block 4 already? Wow. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm just like running around like a nut.
One of those days, man. Emotions are high or low.
Parks Casino, baby. You still got a game left. All right? That's right. Tonight, Texans, Monday Night Football, Steelers. I'd love to see the Steelers win, but I just think the Texans are nasty. And we got the national championship game, Indiana, all day long. That's coming up. The playoffs continue without us. But still, there's always another way to win on the app, the BetPark Sportsbook online casino app. Some of the great fun games. BetParks.com is offering new customers a $1,000 casino back bonus if you're down in the 21st 24 hours. You can play all the great slots and all live games. You got all the sports, hoops, hockey tonight, Flyers and Sixers in action. Check it out. BetParks.com is all the details. Got to be 21, PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. BetParks and the BetPark Sportsbook Casino app. Hey, you want Jalen Hurts returning punt Sunday against San Francisco? Of course not. It's ridiculous. Not worth the risk, the time, the money. Keep your stars focused on doing what they do best. Same goes for business. Enter Togo. You don't want your top people buried in operations, tedious, time-consuming, redundant activities that wear the team down. Togo can help any business looking to reduce operating costs, become more efficient, unlock more time for the best people. Every engagement starts with free process mapping and engineering. No cost, no commitment. We don't bill a dime until the real work begins. And with programs starting as low as $1,000 a month, you're not going to break the bank. Each Togo program includes dedicated staff, custom automations, U.S.-based process engineers who act as your quarterback, giving you complete control, total transparency, and instant efficiency. At Togo, they turn your playbook into performance. Visit harnesstogo.com. Scale smarter, work faster, stay focused on winning. Say what you just said.
Sirianni post game last night, he said that he called that timeout for the last play so they could get a look at the defense.
Yeah, take a snapshot.
Take a snapshot. He said that. Take a picture.
What are you seeing, Nick?
That's
all right.
Same quarters they've been playing all night.
4 verts. All right, boys. We're running 4 verts.
They're never going
to. My verbiage is going to take about a minute and a half. So just be fast, Jalen. Look at your protections. All right? 4 verts. Don't freak out of here. Where's Murph? Good morning, Murph.
Morning.
Great voices in the city. What do you got to say for yourself today?
Did I not get the intro or did I miss that?
No intros
we're not
today.
feeling intros today.
After yesterday, there's no intros. It's business.
I was waiting for the intro. That's usually.
No, I get it. I appreciate that. This is
all
business today.
I was watching the clip of I hadn't seen it yet. That viral clip of Hurts, Patullo, and Sirianni talking before the 4th and 11th.
The wise men.
Yet another moment where everyone's priors will factor into how they view that interaction.
Well, what's your big takeaway after yesterday? Where are you at with them?
again, it only reinforced my priors that the quarterback is the number one problem with this team right now. And I think that obviously the play caller has to change. Frankly, the scheme has to change because the scheme is predicated on something that does not exist right now, and I don't think you can bank on it existing in the next year, especially with the question marks about Lane Johnson first and foremost, but Landon Dickerson secondly. I don't know if you guys caught it, but he was asked something to the extent of are you confident that that an off season will be enough to get your body back to where it needs to be? And his answer was like, I wish I knew, or something like that. So, look, this offense is built on a dominant offensive line, first and foremost. And then secondly, A.J. Brown playing like not just a good receiver, which he still is, but a receiver that is, a one-man wrecking crew. And I don't think you can bank on that existing anymore, and I think the offense is built this way because of the limitations of the quarterback. And we've seen it. I mean, they went through a period early last year with Kellen Moore and back in 23 where they tried to make Jalen Hurts a more wide open quarterback, and a quarterback who could win games with his arms. And every time they've tried to do it, they've realized it's not the way you can win with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. And they need to find a play. He's not going anywhere, nor should he, but they need to find a play caller who can come in here and kind of reimagine, what they can do. And I think what Jalen Hurts is willing to do is part of that question. Mentioning that video clip, I think that you see Jalen Hurts is talking an awful lot in that video clip. And, the quarterback should not go. It would be a mistake not to take a hard look at the quarterback and just be honest with yourself about, what he can do and how you can get him to a point where he can win.
So it begs the question, you talk about getting a new OC in here. What's the head coach going to do? Like, what's he do? Just go be Mr. CEO? Like he's Tommy Boy running his father's company?
Dude, it's like, can we just all take the next 6 months off and just replay the 2023 offseason? Because it's literally exactly what we were talking about in the 2023 offseason. It's fun. It's funny when you actually look at it. Now, the drama, give credit to the Eagles, the drama was missing, So props to them because they did not come apart at the seams like they did in 2023. But when you really look at it, what's the big difference? There isn't much one. A couple more losses down the stretch, but this offense, I have never watched an NFL football game with a team that is supposed to be a Super Bowl contender that was as brutal to watch as that game yesterday. It was awful. It was a non-functional.
It's every week.
Yeah,
They're horrible to watch.
It wasn't just
They're
yesterday.
the most unentertaining show in the country.
Yeah, but you guys hammered me for saying that all last year. They were boring last year too. They just happened to do it at a
They
very high
were
level.
boring because you got 80-yard runs from Saquon Barkley. But
That's a very hard thing.
you take
That's
that
a very
away
hard thing to-
and you got this.
It's a very hard thing to sustain. It's I'm with you.
To your point, that's not a concept, right? Like, that you don't build an offense around that. Yeah, you need your best offensive line, but they stumbled into it last year. I mean,
you're not going to have that. You're not going to have it. You can't plan on having that. And I think that's why. I think part of the reason why everyone around the league hates the Eagles is they look at it and they're like, man, just wait. Like you look at what the Chiefs have had to do with some of their offensive lines, some of their receiving cores. Teams are like, all right, just wait. It's tough to keep an offensive line together like this, playing at a level like they did last year. And look, everything when things are as bad and non-functional as they were yesterday, and as a culmination of the way they've been for pretty much the entire season, it's there's multiple things involved, right? Like AJ Brown is, 20% less of a player than he was, at times. The offensive line is 25% less than it was. The quarterback has really eliminated the thing that made him great a couple of years ago in that Super Bowl, and that's freewheeling and running around with his legs. And part of it too is the personnel. Jahan Dotson stinks. Like, has there ever been a wide receiver that has gotten as many snaps as he has with as little to show for it? Look, it might have been interference down the left sideline yesterday, but he
was covered, right? Like, he was covered.
Absolutely.
The D-back was handsy, but he was covered.
He made no play on the ball. Yeah. It was completely worthless. Every play that they run for him, when they line him up solo,
right? But
out wide and make him the first read,
like, I'm with you. Chance. They ran a play to Cooper early on. He made the catch. It was in the middle of the field, right? Like,
yeah.
I can't blame this whole thing.
That's part of it. But there are structural problems with this team. When you're paying two wide receivers what they're paying Devontae and AJ, you're going to sacrifice a tight end and the slot, or the third wide receiver, what do you want to call it?
Well, the backup.
You're not going to have the other thing they need. The biggest roster malpractice on this team was not having a Boston Scott or a Justice Hill type to a pass catching back who, again,
but that's not in their offense.
What it should be. It needs
I
to
don't
be.
disagree, but they have Shipley. Like, Shipley could be that.
The ball. He doesn't catch. Come on, you know the guy I'm talking about.
No. He could catch the ball. He caught it yesterday. He's caught it before. My point is, they don't run it. Yeah. You're right in what you're saying. They have the personnel to do it. They don't do it.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, chicken or egg, I guess. But look, the big question we don't know, and again, I'm not defending Patullo, right? I think, again, I've said it millions of times. I think he's just a guy, I think my first call would be to Mike McDaniel to try to come in here and reinvent this running game a little bit, because that's what he's best at. The guy is legitimately an offensive. He's legitimately a force multiplier. Shanahan, McVay, McDaniel, probably a couple other guys. That would be it. But the one thing we don't know is, and it's why that video clip I mentioned at the beginning is so interesting. We don't know how much of it is like, look, Patullo and Sirianni aren't idiots. There's like they're not idiots. You heard it. Sirianni talking about it yesterday. He said, we can't dink and dunk our way down the field, right? So if they're dinking and dunking their way down the field and the coaches know you can't do that, is it that the coaches aren't calling plays that will get you down the field, or is it that the quarterback is not throwing the ball down the field because he's not confident in his ability to do it?
Yeah, but I would disagree. Like, they don't dink and dunk down the field. They don't throw short. Right? Like, they don't run. How many screens did I go, oh, man, that was a great screen? They ran one yesterday that I was floored and never went back to it. What happened to Goddard yesterday in the middle of the field? 12 yards, 14 yards. What happened to that? It's a windy day yesterday. Give me a ball. Give me a seam throw.
Look, like I wrote today, and we always struggle with it in situations like this. Multiple things can be true at the same time. Right? Everything you're saying is correct. I think that one of the things you noticed yesterday was, wow. And you notice it every week. You notice it when Ben Johnson's out there calling plays. You notice it last year when he was, when he's with the Lions and you watch that offense. You watch McVay, you watch the Rams and you're like, oh man, like this is a different sport that they're playing than the Eagles play. And yes, the screens, I remember thinking it explicitly several times where it was like, dude, how hard is it to just dial up a screen when something else is work? Just do a screen. We used to kill Andy for running too many of them. But like, yes, they need a guy. Patullo obviously can't do that. Can't get his team to do it. Can't coach it. Can't whatever it is. Whatever the reason why they don't do it. It takes. And look, a lot of teams don't do it. It takes a certain amount of coaching and creativity to not only come up with these plays, but teach them in practice to the point where they can be executed in a game and not turn into a 20-yard loss or the ball going the other way. So yes, they need that. It's hard to find guys who can do that, but also is true they're limited at quarterback. And You know, that's kind of it's a two-headed thing. I mean, they need to find a play caller who can win with Jalen Hurts. And yes, I think a part of it is
about the head coach.
having-
Hold on for 1 second, because we're in overtime. And then when I asked you about the head coach, OT, baby, you're listening to all of our streaming services, watching on all of our streaming services. Make sure you're here at YouTube. Like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Where's the head coach's responsibility here? Like, he's the offensive guy. It's his production, and yet he can't fix it. Never can. And you're going to go through, need an OC. Oh, you stumble on a good OC. OC comes in, has success. Bye. He gets a head coaching job.
Right. But look, it was never Tom Moore's offense. It was never Todd Haley's offense. You know, it was Ben Roethlisberger's offense. It was Peyton Manning's offense. It wasn't Charlie Weiss's offense. It was Tom Brady's offense. It's the quarterback. It is always the quarterback. The coach, you can only do so. There's only so many ways, the route combinations. You can only go left, right, center. You know, Jalen Hurts can't throw an in-breaking.
You're simplifying it way too much.
He can't throw an in-breaking route. I think you're over complicating it. I think, look. It starts with the quarterback. It always has. And Hurts has some serious limitations. And look, the Niners, they weren't playing any safeties deep yesterday on that drive. It was insane. The entire middle of the field was open. And because they know that Hurts can't do it.
Listen,
especially
I don't
on a night like
disagree
yesterday.
that Hurts is an issue. I don't disagree. I mean, I saw him bail way early yesterday, when instead of standing in the face of a blitz, in the teeth of a blitz, like I see quarterbacks do all the time, it's sprint right and throw it out of bounds. All right? So
yeah.
I agree with you. He's got major limitations. He played horribly yesterday and did not have a good season. And if you take away and he doesn't want to run, you got a real problem. But that said, he's not the whole thing. And you can tell me all you want about Patullo and Sirianni. I see a coach. They go, well, he's CEO. All right. Well, does he have outbursts, emotional ups and roller coasters on the sideline?
Yes.
Right? Like, do I see all this stuff? Like, oh, he's so buttoned up in the building. The building runs great. All right. Well, I got a lot of guys that could do that.
Imagine if your CEO actually acted like Nick Sirianni does in the boardroom. It would be an interesting place to work. I'm with you, but look, Sirianni's won a lot of games, you know, and he's done it.
Okay,
he's done it.
That I've heard that excuse a freaking million times. All right, and if I ask you, of those wins, let's see, Howie's roster, Fangio on defense.
Oh, but you're setting it up. You're setting it up for a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like it's you know, like
what, by being honest.
No, I mean, if you're going into it saying that Nick Sirianni's a bad coach and they just have a great roster, then yeah, that's what it's going to look like. But I mean, I just told you, I don't think this.
What does he do well?
What's that?
What does he do well?
In terms, I mean, the thing with this, like, what does John Harbaugh do well? You know, like it's when you have.
I didn't ask you about Harbaugh. I'm asking you about Sirianni.
No, but I'm saying
you're telling me, well, this is its episode of Succession.
No, I'm saying when you have a CEO head coach, it's you know, whatever happens is kind of always out of sight. It's behind the scenes. It's in practice. It's, you know, it's for whatever reason, the Eagles up until this year, they've always been well coached. You know, they don't make.
They what? Have been? Well, there was a mutiny 2 years ago in Seattle.
Yeah, absolutely.
They went rogue.
They won the Super Bowl last year.
Okay, they went rogue. The coach was a thread from being fired last year.
Yeah.
And then they got hot because they wrote an offensive line and a running back had a historic year and a great defense.
I don't disagree. I think everything you're saying, I'm just pushing back because I think that because I just think the quarterback, you know, I think it's hard to assign blame when you have when you don't really know how to draw that line between how much of it is the coaching and how much.
Like if Sirianni left, are you going, oh my God, we lost out on Nick?
No, I guess I think my thing with the coach is, it gets a lot worse than Nick Sirianni. Put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's hard to tell who like, put it this way. I think Kellen Moore is a perfect example. If Kellen Moore is the head coach, I don't think the Eagles look any different than they do under Nick Sirianni. And I think there's a chance they look worse because he does not have.
I don't know, dude. I see him do creative stuff with Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's
no roster. I mean, this is a pretty good roster you got. You got a great defense.
Look, the best way I could put it is, if Sean McVay was a free agent, I would fire Nick Sirianni tomorrow and pay Sean McVay all the money in the world to come in here and be my head coach. Same thing with Andy Reid. Same thing with Kevin McCarthy. Same thing with.
Well, that's why I'm wearing my St. Joe Prep jacket today.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, is this a? Are you going to lobby for Stefanski?
I'm a Stefanski guy all day long. Talk to Joe Flacco before you smirk. Talk to Joe Flacco about Kevin, about what he is.
I am more than open to being wrong about Stefanski, and frankly, at this point, I agree with you. If I think Howie would be more than justified to say, look, this is going in the wrong direction, and we need to get ahead of the curve and bring in someone new. I wouldn't feel passionately about that. That was the wrong move. All I'm saying is I'm not confident that's going to fix it. That's all I'm saying.
That's fair. I mean, listen, do I think they're going to do it? No, of course not. I don't think they're going to do that. But I look at it like this. Going forward, does he have the answers to get you out of this, to resuscitate you?
Honestly, I don't think he does, because I think that the roster's in a lot worse shape on the offensive side of the ball than people probably understand. I think it's I don't think there are any easy answers. I mean, look at AJ. I mean, look, I think AJ is a perfect example of what we're talking about here, because he clearly is at a point where the Eagles need to think long and hard about, is it worth keeping this guy around? Because the way he was, whatever the reality is, the perception that he gave yesterday was a toxic perception, and it's the kind of thing that can permeate a locker room. I mean, when your teammates, you can't have your teammates saying, yo, dude, come on, man, like, just get off the field, or just shut up, and whatever the malaise is that he's kind of exuded with his body language, it's a thing they need to think about. The problem is, it's probably not going to make sense to do it from a competitive or financial standpoint, because you're going to need, like, what are you going to do? Run Dotson out there? It would have to be something like.
No, you're going to have to draft a receiver. You're going to have to rework your room. And by the way, he's not coming back. So.
Well, I would, whatever that $7 million is you could possibly save with AJ, post June 1st, I would try to sign Alec Pierce. Personally, but the point is, you have to try. You can't just cut AJ and not have a replacement.
Yeah, well, they're not going to have it. They'll have a replacement.
Well, what's the replacement? That's the thing. I mean,
look at you got a draft coming up. You got receivers up and down in college football that are good. I mean, look at that. Look, I've been telling you, Matthew Golden is a stud. And it took him a while, but he's stud. Saw it Saturday night.
Andy Reid has been running the scrap heap of all scrap heaps out there ever since Tyreek Hill left. It's hard to find. Like, part of the reason why the Eagles are so blessed is the Titans were idiots. It's very hard to get a guy like A.J. Brown, and it's extremely hard to draft one in the 20 to 30 range in the NFL draft. You could point to all the one or two guys a year that would have made a difference. Hey, my guy was Luther Burden last year, and I think if you plugged him into this offense instead of Jahad Campbell, who played one snap yesterday in a playoff game, I think I was surprised they didn't adjust the position last year, because this was clearly on the horizon.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They knew that Dean was not going to be part. They needed to draft his replacement, because Dean
he played one snap yesterday in a playoff game that they lost. And
because Dean,
Luther Burden
again, they didn't expect Dean to come back from the surgery. Most guys don't come back like that. He came back and said played well, right? So It made sense. I like Luther Burden. I watched him at Missouri. I think I love him, right? I wanted the kid Fannin Jr. from Toledo last year, right? Like, I think he's a good tight end, but you can't do everything.
Honestly, all right. If you're telling me if Surratt's going to be there when they draft in the first round, Okay. I believe in him. I think he could be an instant, I don't know what his ceiling is, but I think he's a guy who could step right in
Well,
and be.
to your point, it's not like he'll have Mendoza throwing a back shoulder throw.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I know. But dude, the guy's a beast, man.
No, he is. I'm just.
He's a total.
He is. I'm just kidding.
I love Mendoza. I love
nobody
Mendoza.
throws like that kid's accuracy is off the
Oh,
charts.
Yeah. I love him. I wish it's funny because Mendoza's not to get off the beaten path, but like he's the kind of guy where you wish like all the teams that are dysfunctional and don't have an offensive line could just not draft him and let him go to like, a 49er, whatever the year that the 49ers drafted Mac Jones, let him be that guy. Cause I think he'd be great, as kind of a plug and play, like the Vikings. Like you put him with Kevin McCarthy, I think, that team would be incredible. Unfortunately, he's going to end up going to the Raiders or the Jets. Definitely the Raiders now after Dante Moore.
Let me ask you this:
Dante Moore's audition tape.
Well, if I was Dante Moore, I'd go back to Oregon.
Well, they just got Dominic Raiola, so apparently Oregon is suggesting that he move on.
Well, he's supposed to. But I would stay in college, so.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would, especially since you can make $1 million doing it. Why would you?
Exactly. He's 20 years old. He played like a 20-year-old that night. Pick 6 to start the game. Let me ask you a question. Today, Phillies are meeting with Bo Bichette.
Mm-hmm.
All signs look great. How are you feeling with it? You think it's going to happen?
I think that there's I think obviously the interest is real, and I think it's mutual, and it's gonna. I'm just skeptical that they have more hoops to jump through to make it work than other teams like the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Mets are still going to do something, obviously. And so I think that odds are one of those teams when it really comes down to nut cutting time, they're gonna one of these other teams is going to step up and kind of do something to eat that the Phillies just will decide is not wise to do. Especially when you talk about having to move Alec Boehm and
please God.
Why do they got to do all that? All they got to do is write a check. It's simple.
I mean, it's never that simple.
It is. In a world with no salary cap, it is.
Yeah, but I mean, look, everyone says that, but a $200 million contract, you can say, oh, he's a billionaire. $200 million contract is 20% of $1 billion.
You act like there's no revenue coming in, though.
At some point, I know, but if they're already spending...
They're spending 67% of their revenue on payroll last year, I think I read, which is 5 or 6% behind Yankee or the Mets or the Dodgers.
Yeah, look, fair is fair. Yeah, spend more money. You can say that, but if they have the ability, then yeah, absolutely sign Bo Bichette. I don't know. I mean, sign everybody. Like, why not just sign everybody then? It's.
We don't have to go that extreme, but a 27-year-old right-handed bat with a little bit of pop.
Please, Murph. He's the game changer. He's it. I'm not asking for anybody else.
Right.
But every other team, like if you have two teams bidding, and they both have Greg sitting there saying, if they're both thinking the same way, at some point someone's got to win the bidding.
Okay.
So it's like,
well, one guy's got stupid money to spend.
He doesn't have as stupid of money as Steve Cohen, for instance.
Nobody wants to go to the Mets.
Yeah.
I mean, Bo's got Donnie Baseball here.
Yeah. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm surprised Bichette's even asking to be paid since Don Mattingly's here,
All kidding aside.
He's such a strapper when he wants to be.
You need Bo Bichette is the answer to this thing. He is.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm just saying I think the Phillies are seeing the same thing, but I just think that it's both in terms of need and ability to make it happen. I think that there's probably going to be another team that kind of trumps them on that, but yeah, I think that
So they shouldn't get Trump. If they get Trump, it's on them.
Right.
I'll be honest with you.
Here's my thing. Here's the only thing I'll push back against, right? Like, we do this every offseason, and everyone loves the Nick Castellanos signing when it happens. And it's just money. He's a billionaire, But then all of a sudden, you're like, oh, man, we can't sign that guy because we're paying Nick Castellanos $20 million, We're paying Taiwan Walker $18 million.
You and I talked about Nick back then, and I go, well, he was a product of Great American Ballpark, too. Those power numbers. I brought that up to you.
The whole point is, at some point, there's a price they're going to – there's not infinite funds. And when you're signing guys to contracts this big, there's – even for the richest
Well, what about
of
the
men,
Dodgers seem to have infinite funds?
Well, they do. I think it's pretty clear that the Phillies aren't on that level.
Well, and we're only talking about 1 year, Murph, because they got like $60 million dropping off next year.
Yeah, I don't know what the there's a price to pay where it makes sense, and there's a price to pay, where it doesn't, like what do you want to give them, like what, $1 billion? Like what you would agree there's a ceiling where you're like, oh, it's ridiculous to give.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get to that kind of bidding. Come on.
I know, but I know
Bichette's not going to get there. All right.
Yeah, what's he going to get? So what are we talking about?
We're talking about a real plausible scenario.
6 years,
What is
180.
it?
6 years, 180.
Yeah. I think that's more than defensible. Although I would probably, I think that's more than defensible.
Here's why you got to do it. You already have Turner and Harper, right? You need another piece. You got to have it. You re-up Schwarber. You're saying I got 3-year window basically. This is it.
Yeah.
So it's shown that it's not enough. You got some question of pitching. You got to bring Bichette to make the other contracts worth it.
I agree. All I'm saying is if there's another team out there that's saying the exact same thing, that it's only one team can win the bidding. And, at some point, one of those teams is actually going to be like, all right, well, unfortunately I'm out. And, I'm still, I think all the signs are there. I think the need's there. I think I think the whole scenario makes a ton of sense. And I don't think that, frankly, I don't know that they would let, Bohm get in the way of anything.
No.
I think that they can obviously withstand. They can obviously withstand, 1 year of pain. It's just a matter of, I don't know what we're talking about in terms of the order of magnitude of this contract.
Just jump
it's
on
crazy
board.
because it.
Are you trying to be the Evans Pest of the week?
Just jump on board. Just go, boys. I'm with
guys,
you.
This is what psychologists would call displaced aggression on your guys' part. You're angry. I understand, but you're taking it out on me and the Phillies right now. And I don't blame. I'm here for it, man. If I can serve that role, and make you guys.
Well, we
feel
love
better
you.
and
You
give
know
me
that. So
know.
we thank
It's all
you.
good. I'm with you. I agree. I was skeptical about Bo Bichette at first, but the more I looked at it, the guy's still got. It's interesting if you look at his numbers and Trey Turner's numbers.
Yes.
Going into free agency.
Yeah.
Pretty much the exact same minus the steals, right?
Yeah.
And Bichette's better power, better on base guy. Bichette's 2 years younger, and Trey Turner signed for 11 years and $300 million. So yeah, if the market is such that Bichette can sign for something a little north of what Alex Bregman got, or maybe what Bregman got over 6 years, absolutely. I'm just wondering if they're talking, if their side is thinking. A Trey Turner deal still, because that's what why wouldn't you? If you've got, especially the way he ended last season, if Trey Turner is getting 10 years and $300 million, Bo Bichette should be thinking at least, 8 years and $250 or whatever. So I think that's the big question is what, and then at that point, if you're the Phillies, then you're like, oh man, we've got, $90 million in payroll locked up in 3 guys for the next 8, whatever it is now, 6 years. That can turn really ugly, and really hamper you down the road. but I also understand. And I think Middleton's at a point where he might not, whatever. How old is the guy? He might not be here down the road to worry about it. So yeah, I think. I mean, none of us might. You never know. YOLO, right? I'm with you.
I don't know if those deals are out. I don't know if those deals
is.
are out there right now with the questions about like the new collective bargaining agreement and stuff.
I'm with you, and I think that's why the Phillies have kind of readjusted. They've kind of gotten back into the market because I think they probably entered the offseason thinking Bichette was like, we can't afford a contract like the one he's going to get, and I think probably they were like, oh wait, maybe we can. So now we'll find out.
My brother, listen, you are the best. We love you. Your therapy, you're fun. So we love our Murphy Mondays.
You're making them break up over here.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you?
He's going to cry.
My allergies are killing me all day today. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. I've been suppressing a sneeze for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, you know what though? That's a good sign. Days are getting longer. You can feel them getting longer. Sun's out. We're on the upslope now. We're through winter.
We're really not.
We're coming out of it.
The Eagles are out of the playoffs in the first round.
It's a Monday, man. You gotta listen. I gotta give you some good self-help books, man.
I am miserable.
You gotta do some reading this week because
don't do this.
I don't like seeing you like this. I don't like seeing you like this.
I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I look at mismanagement, missed opportunity. Right. I'm already have to deal with the end of football season. Like I go through a deep, dark depression post football.
Well, we're
as much as I love baseball, and I do, like it's just not the same, right? It's a different vibe, and I love the football vibe. I'm a hoop guy, I'm a hockey guy. The sports are like my children, but football just a little bit as much more as my favorite.
We're in stage 3.
I hear you, and honestly, it's. Watching that game yesterday, I was just like, man, I was at the game and I'm like, man, I wish this was a TV so I could turn it off. Like it was just like, it's not only just losing. If you lose like the Panthers did, or if you lose like, even I guess maybe not the Packers, we'd be pissed off then too. But like if you lose like the Panthers did, or at least like look, functional, like, watching a team where it's like, man, that wasn't even football we watched. It's just,
you know what's nuts? Murph, they held the ball for 35 minutes.
I know. It's nuts as they were playing against a junior varsity defense that they were dominating, and they should have dominated.
Yeah.
And somehow they just didn't. It was I'd never seen anything like it.
We have seen it. We've seen it all year. That's what's so hard for me. Like I just felt like a fool. Like because they came out and did the same thing they've done all year. And I bet Jalen Hurts over rushing 30 yards, and I thought they were going to do this, and they just did the same thing we've seen all year. So I feel like a fool.
The difference was that defense. People don't understand how bad that defense was. That defense was as bad as the Eagles' defense in 23. Worse.
But we've said that all year. We're like, oh, they should run against the Bears. Can't stop the run. This team can't stop the run, and they can't do it.
I know. Maybe that's where maybe what we're really feeling right now is self-loathing.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah. It's all maybe we're the problem.
I'm Sirianni loathing.
You're in the 7 stages of grief. You're just stage 3 is anger.
Yeah, I don't think they're linear stages for you. I think you're bouncing all around.
I'm Sirianni loathing. I am.
I understand it. I get it.
I am.
But
I want competency. I want
I'm just sad we're not.
smartness.
I'm sad we're not going to be able to. I'm sad we're not going to be able to talk about this stuff anymore.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy. Thanks, brother. We love you. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you during the week or next week.
All right, man. Keep your head up.
Thanks, buddy.
And Chad's right. I'm tired. Jake Elliott's got to be going too. Him making the face after he kicks it, like, it's like, come on, bro. Come on.
Missy Elliott. Miss Elliott. Mrs. Bye. Get out.
Get out.
We had a great run. Like, Jake Elliott, God bless, right? You'll always be welcome.
Yeah, of course.
We'll always love you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
But your time's up.
Time is up.
And I feel like that with a lot of the roster.
On the
AJ?
offense.
Love you, buddy. Wish you well. Time to go.
What's it going to be like next year if Lane's not back, if Goddard's not back?
Well, Goddard's not coming back.
Right.
You got to get a tight end.
Right.
Here's a lot. You may need to step back. Like my biggest worry, here's my biggest worry, is that this was a missed opportunity. Like you had a chance, and they blew it. Because looking ahead at next year, you're going to be different. And you might need to take a step back. Like you may need to go, you know what? Running it back is not going to work. And you got to figure out, here's the other thing. You got to think about quarterback. Like, where's my next quarterback coming from?
Yeah, that's got to be on the horizon of plans. Don't you think, there was a feeling going into this season, it was like a, not a step back, but like a tread season. They didn't do much free agency. It was just going to stay put a little bit because they got to pay guys next year. But once you see how the season's going, you know, you have a shot. You have a shot.
They went and got Jalen.
They got Jalen Phillips.
I mean, they went and got the best pass rusher out there.
Yeah.
Like, Howie did his part.
Mm-hmm.
I got no beef with Howie. Howie did his part. This coaching staff was bad. Bad. They were just bad. I mean, I'm sorry. The head coach and the coordinator.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and again, I get it, the O-line. I get it, the excuses. I get it. It's part of football. Guys get hurt. All right, we got my main man. I need some therapy. So we got my main man, Fit Dad, CEO. One of the great, funniest people, witty, but I think he's going to be how I am today. Good morning, Fit Dad.
What's up, guys? Good morning.
What do you say, buddy? You were on mute.
Oh, am I on mute now?
No, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay, cool.
How you feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like you, man. I'm grouchy this morning.
I mean, who are you most angry at?
I still go back to Patullo. I think I'm more angry at myself for believing that somehow this offense was going to turn around in one game. And, you know, people were asking me while I was tailgating yesterday, what do you think the score is going to be? I'm like 31-17. It's going to, you know, I think they turn it around. Knowing full well that this offense has been exactly what it is. It's been exactly the same every single game this season. It's been anemic. It's been deficient. And for some reason, I was like, oh, you know what? Jalen plays his best games, you know, under this kind of pressure. And it just, it wasn't. And I'm not going to put, you know, all the blame on Jalen, because I think it's the coaching. The coaching is just abysmal at this point. And I understand, you know, your case for Sirianni being gone, but I'm kind of, you know, with a couple of other opinions of you know, who's going to come in here and honestly change this to the point where it's a serviceable offense at this point, especially with the changes that are going to be made in the offseason.
Yeah, but if you keep Sirianni, what's he going to do?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Is I understand what you're saying with that, but Sirianni, and I will say it, I know you're going to hate it, has gotten us to 2 Super Bowls.
Yeah, and I'm not hating it. Like, I think it's a valid comeback, but except I think it's a lazy comeback. Because if you go,
if you go
beneath it and you go,
yeah,
well, why did they get to 2 Super Bowls? How did that happen? Right? And you start to look at the Peterson part of it, and you look at the last 10 years, it's 7, 8 years of this franchise, and what happened each year, you come to another conclusion. Like, you got to go deeper than just go, well, he's got 60 wins. Well, so what? I mean, it's great, but are they his? Like, if he left, you go, oh my God, does he have some master sauce?
I guess that would be the biggest what if, I think, is what you're basically implying, because I think if he were to be fired, which I don't think he's going to, if I was Howie, I would go to him and I'd just be like, listen, you got to get it together. You got one more season. If you don't, then we're gonna have to make some changes. Period. Like, I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah, but my point is, like, what are you saving? Like, you're at the point of, all right, next year's the year. Now, they were going to fire him after 23. They were going to fire him after the bye week last year, and they got hot, right? Like, they got hot, and they stumbled into the O-line Barkley thing. The defense came, like they got Cooper and Quinyon. Like, you know what's sad? Quinyon had 2 picks yesterday. And
I know.
Like, there was a couple plays of DeMarcus Robinson. The defense was still great. Like, it still was good.
Yeah, listen, like I said, if Sirianni were fired, I wouldn't necessarily cry about it. I wouldn't be upset about it,
right?
Because I do think that the issue with this team is the coaching amongst the list of other things that is going on with this team. But yesterday was also just another example with the whole Sirianni thing. He has chosen Patullo as his offensive coordinator, and this is what 2 out of the 3 last offensive coordinators we have that were just
you trust that
terrible.
decision? He's failed.
Yeah.
When he made the 2 decisions, he failed. So you trusted that? So he's the one who said, yeah, we got to go here. And it was complete blow up. Only when Howie went, no, we're going to go Kellen Moore. I mean, like, if someone's got that kind of decision making, I go, I don't know if I trust you.
Yeah, I mean, I go back to this entire season, and I was saying to VG, that game yesterday was just the epitome of the entire season broken down into one game. I mean, there's the list of the good is that Quinyon had 2 picks. That was a good in the game yesterday. Quinyon had 2 picks. That defense still did what it needed to do, and we went up against a San Fran team that should have been very, very easy to beat, in my opinion. And that team rose to the occasion and made every play they needed to go out and beat us. And we still lost the game with 2 turnovers. We didn't have a turnover in that game. We got.
I know the Sirianni secret to success 101. Don't turn the ball over. Kind of blew up in his face.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's a bestseller, self-help book, but it failed yesterday.
Well,
they got 2 turnovers and held the ball for 35 minutes. If I say to you before the game, hey, Fit Dad, they're going to get 2 picks, you're not going to turn the ball over, and you're going to hold the ball for 35 minutes, what would you say the score would be?
I thought, as I was listening to you this morning, I thought the same thing. If I woke up and told you, I'd be like, it's a W easily. But we've seen this already earlier in the season where, we've had those exact numbers and still lost. But do you remember those old CDs they used to make in the 90s and early 2000s? Now that's what they call music.
Yeah.
This is yesterday. It was like, now that's what I call bland and unpredictable. Kevin Patullo's greatest hits. Track 1 was 4 verts. Let's run that again. Track 2 was 2nd and 18. Yeah, let's run it up the middle. Track 3 was run that play. Now let's run it on the exact opposite side of the field. Same setup. And then my favorite track 4 is maybe I'll just wait until the clock is at 5 seconds to get that play in. It's unreal. Like, you could literally just hit repeat and it's the same. I keep hearing people say, if you listen to Sirianni and Patullo's press conferences after the game, the post-game conferences, you could take any quote they say and put it after any game this season. Yeah. And it would apply to every single one.
Well, that's you nailed it right here. Like, does he engender confidence? I don't dislike Sirianni. Like, I like him. Like, as a father, as a guy. Like, so my coming to this conclusion, it's not personal. Like, I thank him. Like, hey, man, you did a good job here. I think you're best suited for college, but wherever you go, I wish you a lot of luck.
Okay, so let's say they were to fire Sirianni. And I know there's, obviously, I heard you say Harbaugh, Stefanski. Who out of the coaches that are available right now would you want to see as an Eagles head coach?
I like Stefanski. I'm all about Stefanski.
Okay, because that's who I'm hearing the most. I don't trust Harbaugh. I know you like him. He hasn't done anything.
Part of it is I've known John since he was here with Andy, right?
Yeah.
So I know what he does. Guy's a sharp guy.
I just look at, he had Lamar, he had, a few teams where he had stacked defenses. And
he also had to go up against, Mahomes and Allen and Burrow. I mean, there was, whatever. He's a good cut. Listen, do I think he's callous? No, but I think he's a really good coach. I'm a Stefanski guy, right? Because he's really bright. He was stuck in a bad spot with no quarterback. And I kind of, I talked to Flacco about him. Like, talk to people that know him, and he's from here. So I kind of have a better idea of who he is and how he coaches. And so I come to that conclusion from my own kind of reporting from my own self. So I go, I like him. I trust him. He's smart. I want a really smart offensive guy that can come in and fix it if he's calling the plays or not calling the plays.
So, okay, so then let's say they keep Sirianni and they were to get rid of the OC, which this is what it's sounding like just from everything that I've seen online so far. Who would you bring? Obviously McDaniels, people are talking about. I would love McDaniels as an OC. I just don't want him anywhere near a head coaching job.
Monken, if he doesn't go with John.
Yeah. I just think that the creativity in this offense, like if you go back to, what was it, the 2023 or was it 2022 season? There was so much creativity in that offense, and that's what made Jalen's deficiencies not show as much. This entire season, all you saw was deficiencies in every part of this team. And it wasn't even like other teams were exposing it. We were exposing ourselves.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not, besides our defense this season, our offense was lackluster. It was predictable. The players weren't playing to the level that they needed to. I'm one of A.J. Brown's biggest fans, and I've always been a sympathizer and an excuse maker for the guy. He's got to go. I've never said that a day in my life of him being here, but it's not even because of this season. It's just every year is something else with this guy, it seems like. And now him and Hurts had a problem. Now it's him and Sirianni have a problem. And I just feel like it's going to start becoming a bigger thing throughout the offseason as well. So he's got to go. But now I look, and if we end up bringing in new coaches, whether it be a head coach or an OC, we're going to have guys that aren't going to be here. Goddard's not going to be here. Brown's not going to be here.
The old line, you got issues, right? Lane, what about Lane? Oh, you got a lot of issues. That's why I don't know that they may have to take a step back.
Yeah.
And
I think next year might be one of those years that they end up taking a step back, which they might need. Honestly, they might need it because they're going to need to retool if Lane ends up retiring. Dickerson, he had his comments after the game. And so, I don't know. It's a lot that's going to be happening in this offseason. It'll be interesting.
All right. I got an assignment for you. I want you to rest up. All right. Take emotion out of it. Friday, talk again.
Okay.
And I would have clear because even I clear heads, right? Let's see what happens on Friday. Let's revisit this.
All right, sounds good.
Sound good? Fit Dad! The
All right,
greatest.
guys.
You gotta follow. First of all, the whole world does. You gotta follow him and see his videos. And you got stuff coming out soon?
I do. So I have a big launch this Thursday, something I'm working on.
Do you want to revisit? You want to come back Thursday and talk? So you can promote?
Thursday.
What you got?
Good to talk. Yeah. Yep.
Let's do it so you can promote with your launch, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, buddy. You're the man.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Fit Dad. There he is, Fit Dad CEO. All right. What do we got? Back in the day, we got to roll?
Yeah. We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with True Mark. Oh, yeah. We went back to a similar feeling where I was gutted. New Year's Eve, 1988. A better Eagles team on paper should have won a playoff game against the Chicago Bears. But a fog rolled in, much like the fog that is Patullo's brain. And it's a similar feeling that I had back then as I do now.
Oh, my God. I wish there was fog yesterday so I don't have to watch that offense.
Right? I don't know. There's a little kid that sums up everything, I think. They caught him on the news. I think it was his birthday or his first game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, this was a huge letdown. This was my Christmas present, and I got a loss.
Oh, no. You probably would have
rather had Cole, huh?
Yeah, probably. I'm feeling two of two things. A, I want A.J. Brown packing his bags, and I want him somewhere else that is not here. I love you, A.J., but, like, you can't make those drops in that game. And I also want Kevin Patullo flipping burgers at, like, the local McDonald's or something. I don't care.
Why do you say that?
Whenever he's an offensive coordinator, it's like he's flipping burgers. One side, he's cooking. One half, he's cooking. And the other half is completely raw.
That's brilliant.
It's great.
Brilliant. Give that kid a show.
Second half of the game.
PHLY.
Raw.
Fantastic. Everybody, listen, we love you. Thanks for putting up with my insanity today. I appreciate you guys. We got a long month ahead. Oh, go Flyers.
We all silly like the mayor.